Hello, everyone. Hello, Monday Munch. It's that time of day. Let me see if I can get this set up right. How's that? Sailing away with TNK. My friend TJ is here. Welcome, my friend. Very good to have you. Just decided to pop on here for the heck of it. No particular reason. Riding along in my automobile. No particular place to go. You remember that song? What is going on in your neighborhood, everyone? What is going on weather-wise? Let me check here. We are at 45 degrees. Got a west wind at 3 miles per hour. That's nothing. Mostly cloudy today. Looks like we got a little snow coming in overnight. Or well, maybe in the morning. I don't know. You keep up with the weather where you are? Hey, look at here. Not only is TJ here, but we've got Sarah Bell. Cuse Cruisers. Welcome, Sarah, with no H. And Guten Tag. This is our dear friend Darian. He is leading a group. He's not a travel agent. I think he wants everybody to know that. He's not a travel agent, but he does love Germany. And he is willing and loves to take people to the beautiful land, Deutschland. Let's see, rain in the evening, chance of rain, 70% tomorrow. Oh, snowfall, 1 to 3 inches tomorrow. Well, a little bit of snow, not much. Howdy, Papa Mozo. Let me see if I can see it. Looks like you're eating something. If I were guessing, I would say it's spaghetti ice, but I will look. Darian, is that spaghetti ice you're eating? It looks like some type of ice cream. I can't see. This is on my tablet, and I've got my phone over here, but I didn't bring the computer in here. Mommy is out shopping. Say a prayer. We want to stay out of bankruptcy. Anthony Simone got a video out entitled Getting Gas. Now, is that in a car or is he eating beans? Somebody let me know. Sailing away with TNK, saying hi to Sarah and Darian. TJ is probably at work. For those of you that don't know, I'll remind you again that TJ and Kayla will be my guests on Friday, Black Friday. That doesn't have the fun that it used to. It used to be so fun to get up at 4 in the morning and wait in a Walmart line for 2 hours. That was a long time ago, and I'm built for it. I can take the weather, of course, but those days are over. That's something I enjoyed in my 20s and 30s, but not so much in my 50s in the retirement. Yep, I was right. Magnificent Germany with Darian is enjoying some spaghetti ice. Of course, that is an obsession with the man. You need to check out his channel. He has delightful videos. Good videos, too. These are good friends from Simi Valley area. That's midlife crazy. If you ever miss their Sunday evening broadcast, well, I guess it's an afternoon broadcast. They're in Pacific time zone, but it's evening for us. It comes on like at 5 or 6, something here in Chicago, because we're on Central. That is fun. That is not suitable for kids, but it's definitely suitable for adults. And some absolute hilarious chaos ensues every Sunday. They're a lot of fun, and all the guests are a lot of fun as well. What's up, Brad? Says TNK. Cuse Cruisers saying hi to everybody. Sailing with TNK. Darian, Brad, midlife. Yes. Sarah, what airport did you guys, when you guys went to Cancun this last video. You said, we're going to the airport, but my internet went screwy for just a second, and I saw a sign go by, but I couldn't read the sign. I don't know which airport you went to because you met up, I believe, in Charlotte, maybe, with Ronnie and Alma. So did you go out of, I don't know where you fly out of. Syracuse is a little drive to the city, but maybe you do. Howdy midlife, says Darian to Brad. Do you live between airports, anybody? We live really within easy driving distance of Chicago Midway, which is on the far south side. I don't like that one because of its location, and then closest to us is O'Hare and Milwaukee. We're right between Milwaukee and Chicago, where we live. We live right near the Wisconsin line. And the joy of Mitchell Airport, which is Milwaukee, the joy of that is never a crowd, even on crowded days. There's just no such thing as a crowd there. Easy on the interstate. Get in, drop your people off, come right back, get right back on the interstate. It's so simple and so uncrowded. The polar opposite of the massive city that is O'Hare Airport. Hey, happy Monday, everyone, says Tyler. You know this guy. Tyler is always putting out good information. Tyler is a technical whiz kid. Everybody likes Tyler. Everybody likes Tyler. Saw one of his videos, saw one of Nick's, and I've got one waiting from Happy Cruising. I haven't seen it yet. I don't even know what it's about. I just saw there's one waiting for me to watch. I tried to keep up with the four younger guys, which is these three, which are minors, and then Anthony. Anybody under 30 to me is young, so if they're in that 10-year period from 15 to 25, I just kind of put them all in the same age bracket. Here's another friend. Tyler saying hi to TJ and Sarah. And look at this guy. This is one of the good guys, everyone. You know him and you love him. That's Blaine Raley of Raley Creative Travel. Welcome, Blaine. Very good to have you, my friend. And we have more friends. Weekend RVing. Now, help me out with who this is. I don't know who. I forget names. Oh my God, I forget names so bad. Do you ever wish you had one of those little things that you could type a message on for the car behind you and say, you know, I'm passing you because you're going too slow, or have it on your front thing going into their rear view mirror, and it would say, please use the right lane for slower traffic so I may pass. You know, just nice message, nothing mean or evil. I wish I had one that people's phone number was like their license plate number. You just dial their license plate number and say, oh, hi. I wish I could do that on YouTube. It's like, okay, so my mashed potato brain has mushed up your name. Which one are you? Blaine, he knows. Blaine knows everyone. He's kind of like Houston, where the space program is concerned. Blaine, we have a problem. Yeah. Tyler is saying something here. Oh, well, I need to get in the hang of getting new video again. Yes. Been spending a lot of time on live show preparation. Yes. The stuff that you put into videos, Tyler, it's no wonder. You have a lot of content, a lot of graphics and things. And I see stuff like that and I notice it and appreciate it. But I have no clue. I can barely work this tablet thing along with my trusty phone. Weekend is James and Millie. Yes, okay. Who are currently in Arizona living the RV life. Excellent. Thank you, Blaine. See, Blaine's not God, but he's like God. He's a man of God. So if you want to know what's going on, talk to God. Now, if God doesn't give you an answer, you can call up Blaine and say, hey, God's busy running the universe and things. Can you tell me who is weekend RVing? And there you go. Looking to your live show this evening. Reminder set Cuse. Oh, yeah, I better do that too. Cuse just reminded me that Blaine-a-thon is going live tonight, Monday. There we go. Set reminder. I wish you could set these reminders to come every time. Cuse Cruisers answered my question, which airport. They fly out of Syracuse Hancock Airport to Charlotte Douglas. Charlotte Douglas, I hadn't been there for a few years, and I was pleasantly surprised a couple months ago when I went. I could not believe how much progress they're making. They're really adding on a lot, and it looks nice. Looks very nice. Tyler says, same here. I'm looking forward to seeing your live stream today, Blaine. See, everybody knows Blaine. Everybody loves him. Blaine, is the Griswold gang back from Mickey Mouse or no? They were at Walt Disney World, I think. It looked like Walt Disney World, and he said Animal Kingdom, and I think that's part of Disney Complex. I've never been to Animal Kingdom. In fact, the last time I was at Disney World was 35 years ago. I believe I was there in 1985. Yeah. Here we go, is another friend of ours. Hello, old friend, says Barefoot Adventures. Well, Barefoot, hello and welcome. We're having a little Monday munch. That just means we munch on whatever topic we want to. I will put this in there if anybody wants to chat a bit. Nope, they will be there through Thanksgiving. I think they head home Friday or Saturday. Wow, okay, he's talking about Griswold Family Vacay. That's Denny Griswold and his wife and two boys, and they are enjoying Disney. From what I read on their videos and things, there was very minimal crowds, and they were able to get on every single ride. Now, when I was there 35 years ago, it took like 2.5 hours sometimes to get through some of those rides. Barefoot Adventure says, I'm driving, so I'll check in at red lights, but I'll be listening. Okay, best not to try to type and drive, but very good to have you. Mine does because a lot of times I can't see, and mine will do a readout like a text, turn it into like a text to speech, and then if I hit the microphone button, and it'll turn my speech into a text, and that is very handy for people whose vision is a bit compromised. I've got my hat on, even though I'm indoors. I've got my hat on. I'm trying to do without the sunglasses as much as possible. Because they do help, especially if I'm outside. But can't be outside in this. Well, I guess I could, but okay, Barefoot. Barefoot, where are you right now? Or did you say that already? We got the Cuse Cruisers in New York. We got Tyler in Florida. We got Blaine in the Charleston, South Carolina area. I want to get back there, Blaine. I'd like to get Blaine, I thought about maybe coming down there to Jonathan and Shauna Short's place, which is partway between you and Alma and Ronnie. And I thought it would be great maybe next summer sometime to have a little bit of a meetup, some picnics or whatever. Although it's extremely hot down there. Well, what am I telling you? You live there, you know. I am not built for heat at all, kiddies. This is for winter only. I don't wear this all year. I usually start in October, sometimes a little after Labor Day. And then it's getting so thick, and it just does not, it just keeps getting thicker and thicker and thicker, not just longer, but thicker. And wow. Let's see here. Tampa, Florida, barefoot. Yes, okay. And I'll ask you that for the next 20 times I see you. You'll just have to forgive my raunchy brain. Smash that thumbs up, friends. Oh, yes, the thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Blaine, I set my reminder to remind me about your show tonight. Blaine, I don't know why, but for some reason I get terribly mixed up with D&G. I always think D&G are on a Monday night, and I don't know why. I know they're on Wednesday. But I always think, oh, you can hear the dogs outside. I always think you're going to be there on Wednesday and you're not. And then I think, oh, wait a second, I missed it on Monday. Hey, I bet this is David. These are friends from Palm Springs. They put out beautiful videos. They don't go on worldwide cruises and try to take 20 hours of footage and put it into one. They have nice adventures that you and I could enjoy. And since I can't go on those adventures, I do it, as they say, vicariously through my friends, David and Aaron. Is this David? And look who else. Hello, Rona. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Like and share. Well, thank you, Rona. I appreciate that. Thank you. Rona is another friend. I believe she's in the Asian community. And I forget. Rona, are you in the Philippines? I have a lot of friends in family. I have family in the Philippines as well. And my wife and sister, my sister married a Filipino national, and they've adopted two children that they're still trying to get in the country because of immigration here. It's harder now than ever because not only is immigration just a supreme pain in the butt, but the coronavirus has complicated everything. And thank God the children and their caretakers are all still well. No COVID for them. So we certainly pray for all our friends and family in the Philippines, everywhere. But the Philippines has had a couple pretty bad storms, pretty bad. They call them typhoons. We call them hurricanes. It's the same thing. Yes, this is David, and I'm at work. Okay. I can usually depend on David to show up if I have a live stream. Cuse Cruisers saying hello to Rona and the adventures of David and Aaron. I'm trying to do it without my sunglasses. The light, I'm photosensitive. Um, I have a terrible time with light. My wife says it's because I'm a child of darkness. She's out shopping. Somebody say a prayer for my wallet. I can feel it getting lighter as I'm sitting on it. We're happy because our children, all three of my girls, I have triplet daughters, as some of you know, and they're all three going to be here on Thanksgiving. Actually, the day after Thanksgiving, we're going to have our meal Friday evening rather than Thursday evening. Always nice to have all three of them home. Two of them still live here. But one of them moved to South Bend, Indiana with her boyfriend, Tobias. And she and Tobias, they're getting along well. They seem to love it over there. He's getting a good trade for free. He's working his way through electrician school. Going to have a very good career. Um, I'm looking at my phone. Brown is saying hi to Cuse Cruisers. I think you all know by now that I love, one of the reasons I love Blaine so much is because Blaine does not try to divide people. He tries to bring people together. Now, there's a spiritual lesson in there that I'm not going to get into right now, but blessed are the peacemakers, people that don't stir up trouble and don't cause friction and division. That's something God doesn't respect. And it's scripture. I can get to it another time. But Blaine always tries to get channels connected and get people connected, build friendships, relationships, and I love that about him. And I try to do the same thing. I want people to, if they come into one of these shows, or even if you're watching this on replay, look up and down this list of people who are commenting on our Monday Munch. Connect to their channel. Nothing wrong. Blaine always says it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You don't cost, it doesn't cost you anything. You don't lose anything. And you might just make a friend out of it. Who knows? I'm just here, host. Excellent, Rona. Well, we're glad to have you. Very glad to have you. All our friends. Does anybody ever watch this Johnny's Journey? Any of you familiar with Johnny and Vanderella, or Kelly? I believe her name Kelly. Kelly and Johnny are, I believe they're nurses. And hats off to all our nurses. We love you. We cannot thank you enough for doing what is near impossible. Right now, more than ever, I have a lot of family in the medical community. And my sister is over 4 hospitals here in the northern suburbs of Chicago. And if you don't have family and friends in the medical community, you cannot fathom the beating this is taking on these folks, physically and emotionally, mentally. They are having a terrible time. And I pray for them because I don't really know, outside of the grace of God, I have no idea how they keep their sanity. I really don't. But I'm very grateful for nurses. thousands of them have taken care of me over the last 17 plus years. I've been hospitalized over 200 times now, and I'm thankful that I'm not hospitalized this Thanksgiving. I have been before. I put out a video a little bit ago, about maybe an hour ago, talking about Thanksgiving and what to be thankful for, what you don't have. Be thankful for what you don't have. I don't have to be in the hospital this week. Plenty of Thanksgivings I have had to be in the hospital. A few Christmases, a few New Year's, any other holiday you can think of. My wedding anniversary on 3 or 4 occasions. My birthday in February. Can't tell you how many birthdays I've been in the hospital. This is a beautiful thing, and he's absolutely right. David's saying we've made so many wonderful friends through YouTube. David, buddy, I could not agree more. I would not know you if it weren't for this pandemic, and indirectly probably through one of the Blaine-a-thons. You were connected to somebody that was connected with somebody that was connected with one of the Blaine-a-thons. But however, I'm just glad I met you. I have a lot of friends on the West Coast before I ever knew about YouTube. But when I got on YouTube, found out we had friends in the Bay Area, friends in the Central Valley, friends in the Simi Valley area, friends in Temecula. I have family in Indio, Indio is a suburb of Palm Springs. David, do you know where Indio, California is? You should. It's real close to you. My cousin is retired colonel in the, hang on just a second, in the Marine. Oh, apparently, speak of the devil. Oh, wow. My cousin informs me that he's, I wonder if Mommy's going to go for this. My cousin's coming to visit on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah. I'd love to see him. She's not wanting anybody in the house, though. She worries about me, of course. That's the job of a good spouse, I suppose. Look at here. We've got another friend. Again, this man, Larry, welcome, friend. I hope you're feeling better. Certainly prayed for you, buddy. Larry is from Powell River, Powell River, British Columbia. Another one of our friends from north of the border. Very happy to have him and his wife, Amanda. Oh, God help me. My names, I can't get the name column right. Plump, we sure hope you're feeling better. I know you were having a tough go of it last week. And I just hope you're okay. I did say a prayer for you and ask God to touch your body. Let's see, I've been in the hospital before during Thanksgiving. David, doesn't that suck? Ugh. You know, the part of this pandemic that I hate is that loved ones can't go visit their family in the hospital. I've had 2 strokes this year. And both times it was during this pandemic. One was in April, one was in August. And then I had a terrible, terrible episode. It was not a stroke, but it certainly debilitated my body in September. So 3 different times I've been in the hospital. And it is no good because a friend of mine passed away in the hospital, and his family and his children. In fact, I'm godfather to his daughter. He could not say goodbye to him. They could not say goodbye to him. It was a very, very tough and trying time for them. Hey, looky here. We've got a friend
Hey.
all the way
Hey,
from the
hey.
Sunshine State, and we welcome Tyler. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Absolutely. How's the weather in the beautiful Sunshine State? Is it beautiful? Lost you, Tyler.
Looks like we're having some lags today.
Oh, okay. Well, I asked you a minute ago, and I'll give you a few seconds to respond. I asked you how the weather is in the Sunshine State today.
85.
Wow. It's always nice there. Travelers. Houston, we have a problem. If the internet would behave like Tyler, we'd all be okay. Unfortunately, the internet's not quite as smart as Tyler. He can outrun it, and frequently does. It can't seem to keep up with his young, fast mind. Yes, we have friends in Indio. Indio, California is where I said my retired cousin lives. He's retired out of the U.S. Marines, and he lives in Indio, California, which is desert country. But that's not far from where David and Aaron live in Palm Springs. Blaine said, "It's so beautiful that Tyler is speechless." Yeah. Well, that's okay. Cruise show and on Facebook. I can't read what on my little screen, Tyler. I can't read what.
Oh, that's my ticker for my Friday show. I have it
Okay,
on.
tell us about the Friday show. Tell us
Yeah,
about
that's my ticker I have for the Friday show that I put.
it. Okay, what time? And it's not rolling across my screen, but that's probably my fault.
So I got a show on Fridays, every single Friday almost, at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We basically talk anything cruise news, travel news. We talk also about, of course, the big events. We also may play some trivia. We always have a throwback video. We sometimes have Today I Learned, basically where we take some...
Getting a little bit of buffering. Or is that just happening to me, or is everybody getting a little bit of buffering? That's no fault of Tyler. I think that's an internet thing. I think. Tyler was saying though he has a show on every Friday evening. It's what we call Friday Night Live. Starts at 5 o'clock and goes all the way to midnight. 5 o'clock Eastern Time. This young man here hosts a show from 5 to 6 called the Tyler Show. Or well, no, is it called the Tyler Show? Or is that the name of the show?
Buffer.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's something that can't be helped.
Yes.
It is here with, can you guess, rain. Plump talking. The weather in Florida is a little bit nicer than the weather in British Columbia. I really like that part of the country, though, Plump. I really do. Barefoot saying it's good to see you, Larry. Very glad to see you. But Tyler's show is from 5 to 6. He is a wealth of knowledge. To be so young, you'd guess him to be in his mid-20s. He's actually in his mid-teens. And the young man knows all about ships. He knows about ports. He knows about itineraries. I believe he could tell you gross tonnage within 1 ton of about every ship out there. He's probably got some way to track all the ships and keep track of where they actually are in fairly real time. I would say, he knows all that stuff. And I was watching you. Well, no, I think it was on Nick's channel, but you were participating, and you guys were naming ships. It's when he was doing which ship is this, and it just didn't seem like you missed any of them. You knew all the ships. When he showed the picture of it, you were like, "Oh, that's this and that, and that's this." I learned that Pride of America. Pride of America.
Yeah, you know when you.
Say again. We lost you, Tyler. Say again, please.
Narrowing down things like, okay, that ship looks that familiar, all that port looks familiar, then
saying hi to Cuse Cruisers. We have the great city of Coachella, which is the host city for Coachella Fest. David, you're going to have to help me. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what that means. I was thinking, my wife said I could be wrong, some kind of a purse. I don't know. We're still, Tyler, you're stuck, buddy. I don't know. Oh, now you're a little white circle inside a black box. And don't take that personally, just observe. Tyler's back. Okay, Tyler, I'm sorry, buddy, we lost you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this internet today. It's definitely a beast of itself.
Yeah, we don't hold it against you, pal. We know sometimes the enemy needs a little exorcism. Have to cast the devil out of the internet. But I know it's not your fault. Somebody's going to help me. David put on here, Tyler, you know what Coachella means? I don't know what that means. Tyler, do you know the Coachella Festival is? David's asking. Um, Coachella Festival. I think I've heard of. Plump says, I have heard of Coachella. Hey, look at the beautiful lady that decided to join us. Another beautiful lady. This is Najuma Brown. Najuma, welcome, love. Very good to have you. Najuma, do you know what Coachella is? I think David's getting ready to tell us. I guess I could ask the Google, but I'm terrible at that. Well, let me see if I can be on there. I can be on my phone. Okay. All right. What is Coachella? Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival is an annual music and arts festival held at Empire Polo Club in Indio, California. Oh, in the Coachella Valley in the Colorado Desert. It was co-founded by Paul Tollett, and Rick Van Santen in 1999 and is organized by Golden Voice, subsidiary of AEG Presents. Oh, wow. Attendance 250,000 weekend total. Wow. That's a big festival. TJ saying Coachella is on his bucket list. Well, I've never played Coachella. I used to be a musician, used to travel much, among other things, and I'm unfamiliar with this, but I've been out of the music business for a while. I have been to South by Southwest, and I think that's still going on in Houston. Austin, Texas. I don't know if anybody's been to that one. This sounds a little bit like that. April 9th through April 18th is the one coming up in 2021, April 9th through the 18th. I don't know. You can ask the Google there's probably a web address of some kind. Coachella Valley. Is that showing up? Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. There you go. Looks like some big crowds. Wow, cool. Learn something new every day. I think it's a fashion festival in California, says Jewel. Well, I think you're partially right. Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival is what it's called. Well, they call it a music festival, but if it's music and arts, sometimes music and arts includes arts and crafts as well. Is it EDM music? No, it's AEG Presents. Well, wait. Larry is asking, is it EDM music? It's held at the Empire Polo Club in Indio, California, in the Coachella Valley in the Colorado Desert. It was co-founded by Paul Tollett. I may be saying that Tollett, 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 and Rick Van Santen in 1999, organized by Golden Voice, a subsidiary of AEG Presents. The event features musical artists from many genres of music, including rock, pop, indie, hip hop, and electronic dance music, as well as art installations and sculptures. Across the grounds, several stages continuously host live music. Wow, that looks like fun. I don't think my health would stand up to it, but I sure would love it. Oh my goodness. Traces back to a 1993 concert that Pearl Jam performed at the Empire Polo Club while bolt-cutting venues controlled by Ticketmaster. Oh, okay, 3 months after Woodstock 99. Okay, Coachella. Oh, wow. Get a little bit of history here off the Google. Coachella is probably one of the largest music festivals in the United States. Where have I been? I've been busy pastoring. Wow. Very good to know. Very good to know. It sells out the whole entire Coachella Valley, which consists of probably 9 desert cities. Wow, I did not know that. David, we learned yesterday we have friends Betsy and Mike, and I forget their last name, but Betsy and Mike, they were on Midlife Crazy. They were the guests on Midlife Crazy, but they're from Temecula, which is down on the north end of Pendleton. EDM, electronic dance music. Yes, that's Larry. That's what this said a second ago. Showcase is popular. It grossed $114 million. Wow. I need to get back in the music business. Genres: rock, pop, independent music, hip hop, dance / house music, and electronic dance music. Okay, there you go. I know down here in Florida, we have Ultra Music Festival, Miami. It's a big, yes, I'm familiar with that one. It's a big event, and some of the best in the house and EDM scene play over 3 nights. Yes, Tyler, that's a great festival. Miami is a blast. Miami is a blast in the winter. When it's winter here, it is just right in Miami. But the people in Miami think 70 degrees is very chilly. However, when you're coming from 5 to 10 above or 20 below, 70 seems very, very inviting. And it's always sunny there. It's not like here. Far from LA. If you're talking about LA, the city, no, it's just a couple hours from LA. If you're talking about LA as in Louisiana, yes, it would be a long way from Louisiana. I think you're talking about Los Angeles, though, Larry. Coachella is a city, desert city in Southern California. Okay. Where is Coachella? Okay, there you go, Larry. From Vancouver, British Columbia to LA, very cheap for flight. Okay, you must be talking about Los Angeles. Yes. Love Temecula, all kinds of beautiful wineries. For my birthday a couple of years ago, I surprised my family and took them hot air ballooning over the wine vineyard. Oh boy, that is beautiful, but something I would never do. But it is beautiful. I don't know. That's probably a little bit of a phobia of mine, and it's not heights because I've been up in the Eiffel Tower. I'm not afraid of heights so much as the insecurity. Not a parachute or not a way to break the fall. I've never been parachuting and never really wanted to. When I was a child, we were visiting my cousin in south of Anderson, where I used to live in Anderson, Indiana, and out by Pendleton, Indiana, by the way, not Camp Pendleton. A guy was skydiving and his chute didn't go off, and he slammed into the ground and went like 4 feet into the ground. And I'll never forget the sight of watching him come down and feeling the earth move when he hit in the yard next to where I was. And it was quite terrifying for a small child. And I guess that's always kind of been stuck in my head. So maybe it's an irrational fear, but it's tough to get something like that out. I can never unsee that. I remember that guy falling, and I remember trying to look in that hole, and you could just barely see his bodysuit. I mean, his flight suit. What do they call it? Well, the garb he wore. You know, not the space suit. Whatever they call that. The jumpsuit. I could barely see a piece of that because he fell into the ground and sunk in. Apparently, it was softer than I realized, or he was just at terminal velocity, and when he hit, it just sunk in. DJ Tiesto, Los Angeles is my favorite American city. Oh, not mine. So far, LOL says Larry from British Columbia. He loves LA. Excellent. I like all types of music, David. I do too. I spent a lot of time in the 70s and early 80s. When I was a kid, I had some very unusual opportunities and some incredible memories of people that I was very privileged to work with that I never should have been privileged to work with, but I was just in the right place at the right time, I guess, and marvelous opportunities. Trump says I listen to all the music except for death metal. I've listened to death metal. It's not my thing. I have to be able to make some kind of a sense of death metal. Typically, their big talent, musically anyway, is their drummer. I've heard of him, Larry. Okay, Plump says DJ Tiesto. Okay. DJ Tiesto plays festivals out of Miami. I saw him in concert here in Vancouver. Okay. Larry giving us a little bit of his musical style and preference. You know, it is 14:29. That's 2:30 here in the Chicago area. What's everybody having for an after lunch drink? Well, you know me. Mountain Dew. Yeah. Who else is here? David's here. Tyler's here. Larry's here. Very thankful Larry's feeling better. If you didn't hear me earlier, my video today was being thankful for what you don't have. It's a 5-minute video. 5 minutes. I think it's 7 seconds. They're outside, mommy. We can hear everything. Let's see. I grew up around music, marching band, orchestra, and chorus. David, I did too. Again, I was in the right place at the right time. I had somebody that was extremely respected in the music world and very famous, and they found me in a little middle school, well, actually elementary school, when I was just a small child, and that's kind of the gift God gave me for the first half of my life. I was able to sing and play music. I always played an organ. Sometimes I tried to play a piano. I wasn't really much of a piano player, but I could get by in the studio. But definitely have an appreciation for choral music, and not just choral music, but there are some performers I like, individuals, and that's a matter of preference. You know, everybody has their. I heard some Stevie Nicks playing during the night, and I love Stevie Nicks. She's a sweet person, albeit a bit misunderstood. TJ Gesto was voted top DJ in the world. We used to play trance music. He switched over to house music. He tapped into the demand for the music in America. Excellent, excellent. So Larry, you're more than just a fan of music. You have an understanding, apparently. Not everyone does. Not everyone has that understanding. Some people like things and they don't know why, and that's okay. That's the joy of music. You can take it with you in your heart wherever you go. Unable to read music, have been ever since I was a young child. I play by ear. David, are you my twin? Yeah, David. I do not read music. Well, I do not. I can, but I don't, because it clutters my mind. And even as a small child, they tried to get me into lessons, and I ended up teaching the teacher. I could learn songs before she finished plunking it out. I could learn it. I play music by ear also. I create music at home here, EDM. Excellent, excellent. Who knew? Plump is a producer. Plump Travelers, Plump Productions. Oh, Larry, there you go. Plump Travelers, have you heard of James Hype? He is one of the up-and-coming DJ and producers in the world. He really knows his stuff on the decks. There you go. There you go, Tyler. I think Larry's the voice of experience here, but it sounds like you are too, buddy. I can't believe the three of us, we all play music by ear. That's funny. What do you play, Plump and David? David, I'm assuming you're a keyboard of some sort. I was always a Hammond B3 guy. I've got a marvelous B3 that's 45 years old, and it still runs like the day it was rolled off the line here in Chicago. Love the sound of a mandolin and violin. Oh my goodness, wonderful. I know some friends from West Virginia, and they are true bluegrass artists. And for anybody that makes fun of bluegrass, you don't understand the level of talent it takes to play it. And you might think that their yodeling sounds like whining. I encourage you to try it sometime. Try yodeling, and try yodeling to where it sounds proper and respectful. And you'll discover it's much more difficult than you realize. I used to be a voice teacher for many years as well, and yodeling is not I've heard people make fun of it and say, "Oh, that sounds stupid." And I said, "Well, it might sound different, but some of the bluegrass artists that I know are extremely talented and very gifted, both vocally and musically. Very nice, very nice." Sound of mandolin and violin. Oh my goodness, I do too. I do too. They can put me in a different place mentally. Roses will bloom again. Just you wait and see. Doo-doo. Can't remember that song. Some friends that used to be in bluegrass. I'm going to put this on here again. If anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to. I don't know if we have any new ones in here. We've got 6 people, it says. I have, what's that say? I have FI Studios. I have 2 MIDI keyboards, 25K and 61K, and play an alto and soprano recorder. I also have mics for vocals. What vocal mics do you have, Larry? I used to sing in a worship team at church here also. Excellent, excellent. Man, that's the greatest music you can make is when you're praising God. It's one thing to tell the human story, but it's another thing to lift up your hands and your voices in praise to God. That's an awesome thing. I play tritoms, bass drum, and bass drum, choir. I can't hardly see this. I was in percussion and marching band. I also enjoyed playing the banjo. Oh my goodness, David, where did you get your love for bluegrass? Those are typically bluegrass instruments, and they take a great deal of talent to play. The banjo is very difficult, but I've seen people that excel. They excel in the banjo, and it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Wonderful coordination and strength it takes to effectively play a banjo. Let's see. I DJ on the side, but put my efforts into filmmaking and video. What, honey? Sure. Sure. Well, I'm just making lunch today. Wow. A DJ on the side, put my efforts into filmmaking and video production. Tyler, I have no doubt. And I've not seen any of your outside work outside of your channel, but I am sure, based on what I've seen on your channel, and from the moment I met you, I told you how talented I thought you were. I was so thankful that you were putting your energy and effort into something positive and something good. Very good, sir. Very good on you. Adventures David and Aaron. My daughter played clarinet and sax in a marching band at her school in New Mexico. She graduated in 2018. Wow. Excellent. I played the clarinet one time. Ended up putting on a track in Nashville for, it was either Alabama or the Oak Ridge Boys. This has been a while. I'm wanting to say Oak Ridge Boys, but I can't remember. I've done some work with both of those groups years ago. I love marching band, and especially the marching band competitions. Yes, yes. Oh, I always love competitions. I didn't compete in a marching band. I always went to their competitions, though, to support them, because so many of my friends in the musical community, they were avid supporters of the choral department, and I was always heavily involved for most of my schooling. I was involved. I did not go to a private school, went to public school my whole life. Marching band, yes, and especially, I picked up a clarinet one time, and it just came to me. The guy showed me how to do my lip on the reed, and I just figured out the notes and the fingering real quick, and it was so fun, a lot of fun. I couldn't do it now because of pulmonary problems, but I definitely enjoy it, and I love hearing a good clarinet. I reached back for some good clarinet. I reached back to Benny Goodman, Artie Shaw, some of the old orchestras from the first half of the 20th century. Some of the big bands, incredible talent. Here's the explanation. I grew up in Kentucky. Well, David, I don't know if you know, I used to live in a little town down at the bottom called Middlesboro, Kentucky, and it wasn't too far from Loudon. Do you know where Loudon or Middlesboro is? That's what I call redneck country, but I'm telling you, that does not need to fool people into thinking they're a bunch of idiots. I realized, I remember friends that would make fun of people from Kentucky and Virginia, West Virginia, that region right there, that coal country. And I had lived down there with friends. I lived with a group of Native Americans. They were kind enough to take me in at a time when I was in a strange position. I was 18, but I didn't have a place to go pretty much, unless I wanted to go crawling back home. And of course, I was young and proud. I'm in my your room, honey. I'm doing a show. We're having Monday Munch.
What?
We're having Monday Munch.
Monday Munch.
Yeah, so it's appropriate that you got me. Oh, mac and cheese. Half pot. No sparrow. No.
All right, go out again.
Go see Granny.
I'm gonna
Go on.
run a couple places, and then I gotta go do my video for singing the Christmas video.
Oh,
I'll probably be, I don't know what time I'll be home.
well, thank you for the ham sandwich.
Probably gonna be 7 or 8
If
o'clock.
you okay, if you want to bring me a Thornton's, like a lemonade.
On my way home.
Yeah.
Okay, I bought the kids 6 packs of Minute Maid lemonade in the bottles because I don't think they drink pop.
No, they don't. Can you bring me another one of these out of my fridge?
Bubby, go downstairs.
Bless you. So, back to what I was saying, the people in Kentucky are anything but dumb. No sparrow. No. Go on. Go downstairs with Mama. No. Naughty. He's so big. But I found some very compassionate people there, very loving, very talented. They tried to teach me how to throw an axe and hit a target on the side of the barn. Can I just tell you, my talent lies in music, not in axe throwing. They laughed at me. They grew tobacco too, as a source of living, and they tried to get me to smoke. And I tried it one time, and I about puked. It just wasn't my thing. I like the smell of it when it's burning secondhand, but that was freshly picked and kind of dried over a few days, and they chopped it up and rolled it in their own cigarettes, and it was. I enjoyed the smell of it, but did not want to smoke it. It really gagged me up. Grew up in Kentucky. I played darts for 14 years. Help me out. Larry, what are you talking about? Played darts for 14 years. Help me out. Is that code for something that I should know that I don't remember? Played darts for 14 years. What is the temp there today? Larry, I am guessing it's somewhere in the 90s, high 80s, low 90s, if I were guessing, and I'm only guessing. I haven't looked. Let me look up Palm Springs. I think I have Palm Springs saved. If you guys want a good weather app, Chicago, WGN, if you want to look up the app, it's called WGN 9. That's the number 9. Simi Valley. Well, let's look at Simi Valley. Oh, well, maybe Simi Valley's at 68 right now, heading for a high of 69, 72 tomorrow. Oh, no. Palm Springs has to be warmer than that. If they're not, I would be surprised, put it that way. I thought I had Palm Springs on my list. I guess not. I do have Simi Valley. But I am almost certain it's warmer even still. Let's look up Palm Springs. Palm Springs, California. Let's see what we got there. Palm Springs is 78, heading for a high of 79 and sunny today. Wow. I would have thought that it is, I would have thought it would be a little bit warmer. Yep, all the way that it is. That is our friend Larry from British Columbia. Welcome, friend.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I can see you just fine.
Perfect.
Can you see me? I'm sure you can see me and hear me. If you can't,
I can see you perfectly. I love the hat. Blind. I really, really, really love your hat, man. I gotta get my hat? One of those ones. Yeah.
I have a few, dude.
Here we go. Yeah.
If I have to be careful because Mommy's bedroom light comes right down. I I'm photosensitive to the max, and I've been in production, and even we used to do live TV, and the lights just about killed me. And I typically have to wear. I've got a little shield that goes over my regular glasses. You know,
Wow.
those magnetic ones.
I thought you were
This
just trying to be cool with that.
no. Cool wave bye-bye to me a long time ago.
Come on.
A cool led to cold. I'm stone cold these days.
This is the first time I've ever dealt with. I get these 3 softbox lights here, and I'm not used to, but thankfully they're not the old incandescent bulbs where it throws a lot of heat. They don't throw any heat, but I'm really enjoying them because I spend a lot of time in here because it makes me feel like I'm in the sunshine. I believe I have some sort of
lighting is good, Larry. Your lighting is real good.
Fixing it today, and I have a SADS light. And so I used to sit in front of that. And so this here is helping me because we seriously, we haven't had sunshine in a very long time. Like it might have peaked out for like 10 minutes and then boom, back into the dreary, but that's the way it is here. I'm not complaining really, even though I wouldn't mind being down in that sunshine down there where Tyler is.
I have circadian rhythm disorder.
Oh, wow.
And so if it's dark, I just go to sleep wherever I am.
Wow.
And so that's okay when it's like September, October, but when we lose our hour, when we fall back an hour in November 1st, or around the beginning of November, it just wreaks havoc on my body, and I'll sleep for 14 hours.
Wow.
Because it's all dark. And even if I wake up in my room and open the curtains, I have blackout curtains. But if it's still dark when I open them, I'm just right back out again. When the sun comes out, no matter how sleepy I am, I wake right up. And so
you would have a hard time up north.
Very, very much so. I would not do well in Alaska. My family lived in Alaska before I was born. My mother and dad were in there. In fact, when Alaska wasn't even a state. And Dad was talking about he and his Army buddies would play softball at midnight. This was during the summer months, of course. He said the sun would go down, and about 25 minutes later, it'd come right back up.
That is so cool.
He was explaining it to me, and when he showed me slides, it was really fascinating. But I told him, I said, man, my body would collapse. I'd be dead the second day.
Yeah, I used to play men's softball league in New Brunswick, but not at at midnight, so that would be kind of strange to do. But at night, we did play at night. You know, you have the ballpark lights and stuff, but it'd be kind of weird doing that at midnight.
How different is the East Coast of Canada, where you live, New Brunswick, as opposed to where you live now, the West Coast?
In what way? Like, I've been all across. I've lived all across Canada.
Is there much of a difference climate-wise from like Alberta? I mean, why do I keep saying Alberta? I don't know why I keep saying that. From British Columbia and New Brunswick, is there a big?
Yes, there's a very big difference. So where I am on the West Coast, I'll start out here. We have the mountains to the, give me a sec, to the east of us, right? Mm-hmm. So that, what do you call it? The jet stream comes from the Pacific Ocean, comes into us, and then hits the mountains and goes up over, and then causes a very cold deep freeze on the other side of the mountains. So that's why in Alberta, where I felt the coldest at minus 40, 48, that's all I could get. I never got the wind chill, and I'll bet you the minus, and that's Celsius, by the way. It was probably minus 60 Celsius at the cold. I was working up in Fort McMurray in the oil rigs, and it was the coldest. So then once you start going into central Canada, like the prairies and stuff, same thing, it's all flat. So all that cold airs get in there, and it gets down to it stays down there in the minus 30s and minus 40s all winter long. And it's like, oh, cold. But then after you get down to like Ontario, then it starts to, I'm not going to say warm up, but it gets a little warmer than the minus 30s. It stays down in the minus 20s. And like where I'm from, the coldest, I'm actually talking about my hometown tonight on my live. The coldest it's ever gotten was minus 36 Celsius. during the winter.
Ooh.
But it's not all the
Does
time.
it really matter? Does it really matter after it's like 20 below? I mean,
And that's the way it is, Papa Moses. Once you hit like minus 20, there really is no different. It
I
feels
couldn't
like your
tell the
face is
difference
burning.
between minus 20 and we've had minus 40 wind chill here in
Yeah.
Chicago. And I'm about an hour north of the tower. So I live right on the Wisconsin line. So we get more Milwaukee weather than we do. And there is a difference between Milwaukee and Chicago. But still, when it was 20 below with a wind chill versus 40 below with a wind chill, I couldn't tell the difference. I could go out, behind my house and pee against the shed, and it was frozen before it hit the
Frozen
ground.
ground, yeah.
I mean, just crazy.
Now, isn't Chicago called the Windy City?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And with good reason.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that was written for politicians that were considered gas bags way back in the day. But it can be it's the wind here that for some reason, and I've lived all over America, but for some reason the wind in Chicago seems to just bite. It just bites right through whatever you have on. The only chance a person around here has, and everybody knows, layers. You can put four skinny little layers of that, like that sports, what do they call that? Lycra? Like jogging or the bicycle shorts. You can put 4 or 5 layers of that on and be okay. But you can put one pair of thick blue jeans on, and it will not protect your legs. Your legs will get red and they'll start tingling real bad. If you worked on an oil rig, you know what I'm talking about. But you probably wore Carhartts and stuff like that, didn't you?
Well, believe it or not, Papa Mozo, I worked in the kitchen side of things. I didn't work exactly
you went outside. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I first went out there, I was what they called a part camp attendant, part second cook, which means I did all the dishes, all the prep work for the first cook. And when I wasn't doing any other work, then I would go help the camp attendants make beds and stuff. And this was like a 30-man camp. And so we had to go from trailer to trailer making beds. So I had to go outside into that freezing cold. Yeah, but luckily, I don't know how the guys on the rig itself, they're there 12-hour days. I have no clue how they managed. There's no way I could deal with that.
I tell you, I appreciate everybody for whatever work they do, but you really got to hand it to those fellows because they kind of redefine what it's like to be a tough guy. They might not be prize fighters or whatnot, but man, they're tough as nails, those guys.
And they treat you like that too.
I bet they do. I bet they don't cut you.
You're starting out, you got to show that you're a man, not a little boy. And they start them out like 18 years old. 18-year-old kids out there making $100,000 a year, owning their second homes, But you are treated like a man, not like a boy. You got to get over there, grab that, 100-pound thing and bring that over here. And yeah, it's not for little girls. So the reason why I know all that is during our time in some of the rig camps that I worked at, I was able to go up to the actual rig itself and see how all the work's going on. And there's no way I could do it. The money was
in Alberta?
Alberta, yeah. Most of the oil drilling here in Canada is up in Alberta, northern Alberta. Now, there is some in BC and some in Saskatchewan, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But northern Alberta is where all the oil fields are. And they have different things. They have big, huge 1,000-man camps. But what I really enjoyed was the smaller camps, 20 to 30-man camps. And so it's on a rotation. They would have a shift working 12-hour days of days and then 12-hour nights. Right, and then they would switch on a week off. They'll have a week off and then come back in, stuff like that. Yeah. But 12-hour days. Sorry.
Probably easier with a smaller group to make some personal connections. I'm not saying that everybody was fuzzy and cozy, but I mean just saying, if you're in if you got 1,000 people around you, that's one thing. But if it's 20 or 30, you can get to know a little bit of people, like on the first name basis.
Yes,
I mean they don't want to hear about you being depressed.
I
Suck it up.
actually didn't mind it. I liked it. It was like it's one of the best paying jobs in Canada to ever have. Now it's actually dying down. But I knew this back in in early 2000s when I first worked in the rigs. I knew that they only had so much time, and there was only a certain amount of oil that they can drill before it starts to die down. And that's what's happening out. There's so many jobs being lost up here. Alberta is really having a rough time right now. Yeah, I really don't understand how people can work out in the elements. I worked in the kitchen all my life, so I'm spoiled.
Tyler says, would love to do an Alaskan cruise. I've done a British Columbia, Canada cruise, but never an Alaskan cruise. Well, I think you've got to go right past British Columbia to get to Alaska.
Ironically, Tyler, me and my wife were just looking at sorry, Papa Mozo. We were just looking at an Alaska cruise today, actually, and I actually thought for us Canadians, doing an Alaskan cruise is pretty expensive compared to what we can do down in the Caribbean stuff. But yeah, we were just looking at it today, and it's pretty cheap actually to go, but it's from Seattle up and back. We do have cruises out of Vancouver to Alaska, but most of them are just one way.
Larry, is that the one that you told me makes a stop in Victoria?
Victoria, yes. Yeah.
Wow. Victoria, lovely, lovely global city. Oh my goodness. Just seeing it from the water as you're coming into the port.
Yeah.
Wow. It's beautiful. It's like San Francisco. San Francisco to me is a beautiful city from the water. And Victoria, oh, with that big, is that the Parliament House right there? As you're coming in?
As you're coming in, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great big Parliament House. Reminds me of a miniature, like a miniature Buckingham Palace or something. I mean, something grand and wonderful.
They have the hotel. I'm brain freezing on the name of the hotel right now, but the hotel's right across the street from it. Really, and they have like tea time. It's a fancy hotel. I don't do fancy hotels. I'm the one that goes in there and just gets a, between a 3 and a 5-star hotel. Kind of, I'm on the lower end. What's the name of it, dear? Empress Hotel.
Yeah, I've got a picture of it. This was back when we used 35mm film.
Oh, I missed that. I actually got to switch mine over from 35mm film. When I used to work in Jasper National Park, I have a bunch of me in the mountains hiking, and thanks, Papa Mozo. Now I'm gonna go back in time now.
I'm gonna go invest in a $800 camera that's not worth any more than that $35. What was it they used to call it? Not Minolta. The little
Minolta?
Well, it was like Minolta. It was a famous Kodak. I want to say Kodak something, but it took 35mm film. In fact, I remember the 110 film. That was
the 110. Yeah, the little half film. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
I had one of those. I even had a Brownie from the 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now we're aging now, Papa Mozo.
Well, I just said I had it. Maybe I got it from my.
I see. Yes, you got it from a museum.
My 95-year-old granddad or my 87-year-old dad gave it to me. Maybe.
Yeah. You know what, Papa Mozo? My biological father. Long story. He would be right now. He would be 114 right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mine's 87, but I don't think he's going to live much longer. I think he's pretty near death. He and mother both.
I had 5 sisters and 2 brothers. Lost 2 sisters and a brother already. So.
Wow. So were you the youngest then?
I'm the baby.
Yeah. Same here.
I love that title. What about you?
I'm the baby. I had older siblings. All the way up to 6. My oldest sister's still alive. She's 65, and I'm not. And
how old are you? 50? 50 something?
But yeah. Okay, so you got a steak dinner coming when I get there. Thank you, sir. I'm 50. I'll be 54 in a little bit. Yeah,
I'm 50.
Not bad. Well, there you go. So
we're still young, Papa. We're still young.
or
Lots
still
of
young. That's what,
energy. We still got it.
well, they made the mistake of telling me that you're only as young as you feel, which that's bad for me because I've had 7 strokes. I had 3 heart attacks, open heart, uh, open heart surgery, valve repair, you name it, everything's gone wrong, and I'm still kicking. It's like, well, if you're old as you feel, then I'm like about my dad's age, about 87. But
Yeah, there's times where I feel old, but I know I'm 50. Like I just turned 50, and turning the decade, that was rough on me. Like turning from 39 to 40, and then 49 to 50.
indeed,
It mentally it changes, but I still feel young. I do mentally. Physically, yeah, no, that's a little different. I have bad back. I have bad knees. I'm just waiting to go to get a CT scan on my back and other procedures that old men go through.
I hear you, brother.
So I got you. But
The only thing I can say is that there are some things that pills can't fix.
yeah. I must say, both my wife and I were both dedicated to getting in shape, and this cruising, because as you know, I've never been on a cruise, or my wife hasn't ever been on a cruise, and so in order for us to be able to go cruising, we have to be in shape to walk and all that kind of stuff, and so that's what's motivating. One of the good things about cruising for us is to get out there and get in shape. My wife just started her diet. I have diabetes, so I need to watch what I eat and all that kind of stuff.
See you, David.
Bye, David.
Go ahead, Mark. I was just telling David goodbye.
And so this cruising, and every one of you guys talking about cruising that's been on there, it's amazing. Every single channel out there that talks about cruising has given me so much inspiration to get onto a cruise. Like before that, we've only gone to Mexico twice. Right, a land vacation. So that's exciting and great and everything, but I've never been on a cruise ship. I will say, back in the day, back in the 80s, I did actually apply to be on a cruise ship to work on one, but that didn't work out. But I also didn't want to go on because of watching The Love Boat. I'm not a really nice suit and tie kind of a guy, but the image I got from cruising, you had to be the tuxedo and everything else, or you're not going to get in there. But now I think she's changed. So,
well, I will tell you, there's still a segment of cruising where that fits in,
and it's okay. It's okay. No, totally.
If I had the money, I would go on cruises like that. I don't have the money anymore. But I grew up with the Love Boat, and the first cruise I ever went on was in 2008.
Princess.
And by then, Love Boat had been out for a very long time.
Yes, that's right.
And I thought, wow, this is not. I went on Royal Caribbean Majesty of the Seas. It was one of their smaller ships, one of the older ships, and Mommy and I loved it. It was a gift from the church to us. We went with people in the church who had said, we want to take you on this. We want to do this.
Nice.
We'll be there to help you. We'll be there to give you a good guide. And they were. And I took my tuxedo because I just thought, you got to dress for dinner. I had no idea that people could come to the dining room in like a golf shirt and a pair of white slacks or something. And now they said since then it's much more relaxed, even since 2008, that a lot of people just wear a nice shirt and a real nice pair of shorts. And I'm thinking, wow. But I think a lot of the people in this community go on Carnival cruises. Yes. And mommy said that Carnival is much more relaxed than Royal Caribbean, and that Royal Caribbean is much more relaxed than Celebrity. And we were going to go on Celebrity in March of this year. Of course, COVID happened and that got canceled. And we've just lost our 6th attempt. We didn't lose 6 cruises. It's just been one cruise that we were given for our retirement. But we tried 6 different ones over the course of this year. And all of them so far have been canceled. So
yeah, I had
right
one
now, did you? Yeah. I mean, we've tried every line. We were on Celebrity, then it was going to be Royal, then it was going to be Carnival, then it was going to be NCL. then it was going back to Carnival, and this latest one was Carnival. I've never cruised Carnival, but Mommy loves it. She likes the informality. I like getting dressed up fancy for dinner. I don't desire to walk around that way the whole time, but I enjoy elegant evenings. I'm unable physically now to dance. I used to be quite a dancer way back when, but
No
I'm
dance.
totally unable to do that now. I mean, without medics on standby, you know. But
Where's the defense?
right. But I don't know. I think one good thing I see about cruising is that there's something for just about everyone. There's a level of formality. If you want to have it, nobody looks down their nose at you, and if you don't want to have it, nobody looks down. At least all the people that I've run into on a lot of these cruising channels. Because I just got on here. I just found YouTube in January, and instantly, you know, they just kind of snatched me up, and I'm very thankful for it. Tyler says, "Got to love the majesty of the seas. Sad to hear that she may be scrapped in a few years. Oh no! Hey, we got somebody else here. No maps needed travel. Plump travelers, you will love, and I mean love, cruising. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Let's just say when we cruise at No Maps, we don't really dress up, suit tie, just a nice pair of pants and a nice dress shirt. You're good to go. A lot of people are telling me that. It's like, hey, you know, go casual. That's fine, but it's good to know that if I do want to take my tuxedo and, you know, wear those spiffy shoes and fancy cufflinks and all that stuff, I can do that and people not look at me weird, you know. It seems to be more of a judgment-free zone. Maybe that's just my...
And that's what I found watching everybody's video through cruising. Like, it's everybody, yeah, you don't have to, I don't see many people wearing the tuxedos. Although it has changed my viewpoint of wearing it. I've only worn a suit twice, and it was for 2 of my weddings. I was previously married and divorced, and I've only worn a suit twice. Sorry, 3 times, because I was an usher for my nephew's wedding, so I wore a tuxedo then. So, but that's it. I have never used suit and ties, any of that stuff, so it wasn't really. But I don't know. Like, I think it's because I just found out that we get the future cruise credit from, or onboard credit from the cancellation, and that's quite a bit of money. So I'm looking at, okay, what can we, and I looked at the photos, and then I see everybody going out in formal night and getting their photos done. I think that would be great for me and my wife on our first ever cruise, to have some photos done and so dressed up. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I will, not a suit or a tuxedo or anything, but I think I will get dressed up. But I have noticed, yeah, there's just people wearing just a regular collared shirt, and yeah. If you
the whole world's going that way. It's going less formal.
Yeah.
Even off of ships, if you go, you really have to pay high-end dollar now to go to like downtown Chicago. If you pay $500 or $600 for dinner, they'll require, you know, a coat and tie. But you know, who's got a couple grand to drop on dinner? I don't. Tyler says, I sell Royal for years, and over the years they have definitely moved to a more or less formal vibe. Looky here, Melody. Welcome, my dear. Welcome. Got Larry up here on the screen with me. He's from Plump Travelers. He's in British Columbia, Canada. No map needed travel. No tuxes over here. Oh Lord, no.
No maps needed travel. They're from Canada.
Are they?
Sure. I'm pretty sure.
No maps needed. If I've met you, my brain is made. Tell us where you're from. No maps needed.
Yeah, I thought they were from Canada, but I could be wrong.
That's a neat name. No maps needed.
Yeah. Yeah, just go wherever you want to go, which is what I want. Now, there is a lot of places that I want to go, so I don't need a map. So yeah, it still works. Yeah.
Well, you know, I guess I cruise, and I do enjoy the destinations, and to be sure, they're very beautiful, and I like cultural diversity. I love it. I've been a pastor at a Black church for 25 years, and I think that's one of the reasons why I always wore suits and tuxedos and things, because I was at a lot of occasions. And we had to do some work in Washington, D.C. and different black tie events and stuff that necessitated that. However, not required at church. Our church is it's an all black church and more urban mentality. And you're going to have people coming in off the streets that smell like the streets, that look like the streets, that act like the streets. And you got to decide, do I want to hug these people and embrace them and try to help them better themselves and better their lives? Or do I just want to say, well, that's not proper in church? Of course, we can't do that. We don't get to pick who comes to church. And it's our obligation to love unconditionally. And we do.
Unconditionally. That's right.
That's why the church is so big. But that was a hard habit for me to break. Stop wearing suits to church. But I can wear a shirt untucked and nobody thinks a thing of it.
See, that's what I liked about going to churches, where you can walk around with a pair of nice dress jeans and your shirt hanging out, nice dress shoes. And that's the way I'm comfortable walking around, like really comfortable walking around that way. Not right now. I got a big gut on me. I got to lose some weight, but
We had prostitutes that did their business on the back step of the church. And we'd come in Sunday morning. Some of us come in early to get ready, to minister. And they'd still be there, and trying to solicit a little business at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. I'm like, hello, girls. Hello, Reverend. And I'm like, no, come on. Why don't you come in church? And eventually especially those two did. One of them has since died. One of them has died of AIDS, but the other one, they both gave their heart to the Lord. And one of them now is living in Florida with her family. She got a car. She got an apartment. She got a job. I mean, a legitimate job. And wow, that's what the gospel is supposed to be about. And I'm so thankful. But what's this say here? Yes, here in North Delta.
That's right. Yes.
British Columbia, Canada. Okay.
There
you know where that is?
I know exactly where it is. I used to live in on River Road. It's I don't know if it's called. It would be considered North Delta. It's at the bottom of Scott Road. They would know where I'm talking about. Okay. But it officially it was in. There's a long story to it, but I considered myself to be living in Delta, but on one side of the road it was Surrey and the other side was Delta, and it's kind of like North Delta, so that's why I know where North Delta is. Long story. I won't go into it right now, but No Maps knows what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful place out where they live, actually.
Is your wife, I forget, is her name Amanda?
Ananda with an N.
Oh, Ananda.
Yes, with an N.
Okay. Well, tell her I'm sorry.
That's okay. She understands. She knows you. She knows you.
Oh,
she comes in here. She's not, just doesn't go on camera as much, but she hears everything that goes on in my room.
Don't hold it against me.
No. She gets giggles out of you. Papa Moses,
the thing I was going to tell you about, the thing I love about, hi, Ananda.
Hi, Ananda.
I enjoy the cruise community because even though the islands are beautiful and the destinations, they're kind of exotic and whatnot, but I mean, because of the business I've been in all my life, I just love meeting all these new people. And we don't meet a stranger, no matter where we go. My wife and I both, we were raised in two different homes, of course, in different parts of Indiana we're from, but we've both been in front of huge crowds our whole lives, both of us, and we just don't meet strangers. And that's been a real blessing, and a little bit of a mixed blessing, because there's always people come up and say, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And they'll know me by a stage name or something, and I'll know that they know me, but I have no clue who they are. Because when you're looking out, if you look out at a stadium of 40,000 people, and they're watching you, but you don't have a chance. You might remember 5 faces in that crowd, maybe. And you certainly won't know names.
I know my very first time the lights was in your eyes, I didn't see anybody. And it was in Mexico. It's the very first time I ever was in front of a crowd. And yeah, I never seen any face at all. I heard my wife laughing down front row. And eventually there's going to be a video of me. The actual video I'm talking about will be coming out, and it's funny. But on stage. But I really want to sit down with you one day and talk about my experience, what God has done in my life in the case of what you're just saying about standing in front of people. I used to be an introvert. I could never, like right now, you're looking at me right now through the camera, but you're still looking at me. And before I would tense up and I would freeze. I couldn't talk to people. Now, you were saying stranger. You're not necessarily a stranger to me. It's people, humans. I love humanity, and so talking to everybody. I just love talking to people. And thanks to God, I was able to do that. I was able to get in and be a worship team and sing and just love being in front of people, and inspiring others. And that's why I get into doing this, right?
It's
Learning still.
It definitely is a new purpose. It gives us all a new level of purpose in life.
Yes.
Here is what No Maps needed. Yes, you're right, Pump Travelers. We don't speak about the
That's for another topic there, No Maps.
Amen, Papa Mozo. Meeting strangers is a blessing in disguise. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we were just talking about. And I technically agree. Melody Lindorf is here. Melody's, hello. Okay, Melody. I think Melody is, I'm thinking she's Asian. I can't remember. I've got a large Asian population on here because I got a lot of family in Asia.
That's right. We talked about Philippines before.
Yes, Philippines.
That's my bucket list place to go. Number one bucket place is the Philippines. Number one.
It is beautiful, and I can tell you, they're some of the most hospitable, happy people in the world, and most of them have nothing. And there's a great lesson in that for Americans, because we're such a fat society, and I don't mean that physically, although I guess it applies to me. But fat in our sense of entitlement, we deserve this, yada yada yada, and we forget when Americans say, "Oh, I hate being poor." We don't even have a clue what that is when you got people living in dirt piles, literally. And when the hillside gets washed away, they get washed away physically and die. And it's like that's a level of poverty we don't really have much of an understanding of here. And yet, those people are still so grateful and so thankful. And there's a great lesson. What's this say? Philippines 2023. Can't wait to visit. Okay. No Maps.
No Maps. You going there?
That's what it sounds like. No Maps needed. Where are you going in the Philippines? I've got family in Cebu.
We're only booked up in 2022 October, so maybe the Philippines. Ah! Love, can we go to the Philippines in 2023? I'm not allowed, since I booked 2 cruises, I'm not allowed to talk about booking any more vacations till after we do this.
I don't know what the future of cruising is going to. I received a little bit of bad news today about cruising, at least for 2021, may or may not happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, who knows? But I think we're going to schedule Aruba for January of 2022. I'm thinking by then they might be up and running.
We're scheduled for January 29th, 2022, going to St. Martin's, St. Kitts, San Juan, and Grand Turk.
Carnival then.
Carnival, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think we're taking Carnival on the long haul from Port Canaveral all the way to Aruba. That's a long hike.
Aruba.
4 sea days. What'd you say?
I was singing the song.
Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda.
Gotta watch out for the YouTube ears.
I know. I think they take themselves way too seriously.
Yes, I agree. So no
I
maps.
heard-
Are you? I just want to ask: is no maps? Are you? When in 2023 you plan on going to the Philippines? But
Well, that's 2 years away.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
3 years. Well, all
yeah,
depends on what time.
you're right. You're right.
So you really want? It seemed like you really want to go to Aruba.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been. I may have when I was a kid. I don't remember. I traveled a great many places. I hardly remember, but I don't remember ever going to Aruba. Aruba wasn't the place in the 70s and 80s that it is now.
Hmm.
And this is also someplace Mommy's positive she's never been. So I said, let's do it.
Hmm. See, I'm
And
not
then
necessarily bent on going to the Caribbean. Both my wife and I, we love tropics. Anything with palm trees and blue water and nice water, and you can sit on the beach and the white sands. Oh,
Well, can I just tell you, you will love the bay there in St. Martin. Are you going to the French side or the Dutch side?
oh, that's true. They're both called Saint Martin, but spelled differently, from what I understand.
Well,
I'm
the
going to
Dutch side,
we're going to the traditional side where the planes come in and all that. That's
that's
been a
on the
bucket
north
list
side.
for many years for me, Papa Mozo.
That's on the
My
north
father was a
side.
pilot, and I've been fascinated with airplanes all my life. You know, you watch TV and everybody's, oh, look at the airplanes coming in. I really want to get down there when they have the 747s coming in, but I'm going to have to
Yeah,
deal with everything else. But that's okay.
that's on the French side. You're going to the French side, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Now, when you said like the azure colored water, and that's a little bit better to me on the south side, the Philipsburg, which is the Dutch side.
Mhm.
But it's
I,
still gorgeous. And
I always thought
there's a video you can watch.
sorry, delay, sorry.
Well, there's a video you can watch. It's by Sharon at Sea. They rented what do you call
Yeah,
those?
the ATVs.
Quad, like the
Yeah,
quad
ATVs.
ATVs. That's it.
Yeah.
They rented those,
Yes,
and I
I
believe
watched
that was on St. Martin.
Yes, it was. It was.
Oh, you
That's where
saw
we're
that?
going. That's the
Yeah.
one where we're going to. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
And actually,
but
I
St.
was
Martin
actually
you
thinking
will
about
love.
renting those ATVs. Because it gives, I think it would give us a little bit more, because it's cheaper just to grab a cab to go there. You can even take a bus, from what I understand. But I think with the ATVs, you have a little bit more control over what you're seeing, whereas the taxi takes you just from point A to point B. With that, you are getting from point B, but you're going on a little tour, and you get some people telling you, okay, you can do this, you can do that, you know. Yeah.
You'll love you and Amanda both. You'll love St. Martin, and if you're going to St. Kitts, I'll get you the name. In fact, let me look this up. I'm going to give you the name of a place.
Mhm.
It's an old sugar plantation.
Oh, I heard of that. I think I know what you're
Um,
talking about. There was a tour that goes through there.
there's several of them actually. The one I went to, the tour included. It was a private party. The group I was with, that I was speaking for on the ship, I was invited along because I was the main speaker, and they took us to this place. Let me find that real quick.
While you're
It's
doing that, and I'll talk about no maps here. He was saying, or they were saying, was planning on visiting in October 2023, visiting Manila, Boracay, Cebu, and hopefully more. Oh, wow. That's exactly what I'm hoping for. No maps. That's exactly. I want at least a month to be able to go and, and visit as much as we can. My dream is to maybe stay on one of those islands, and just me and my wife, and let us stay overnight, just to have our own little island piece of paradise for ourselves for one night. I watch other channels that they've been on these islands, but they always had house people there, you know, cooking food. But I want to be on all by ourselves. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, going around everywhere. Cebu, Snake Island in Palawan, and all those other tours where they're touring all the islands, the typical tourist areas and stuff like that. I really want to stay on like beach huts, off just rugged old beach huts on the beach. That's my thing. Oh, Ford Man, Kenneth Oaks, aka Kenneth Oaks.
Where's Kenneth?
He's right there, right down
Right
there.
there. Kenneth, hey buddy. How you doing, pal? I'm crossing our fingers for 4 weeks to visit the Philippines. No maps needed. I have family in Cebu. I have family in Tacloban. I've got family and good friends in Rojas. And we've got a friend in Boracay as well. Boracay is exquisite. It is so priceless. There's no amount of money that can buy you the beauty and the purity of the water off of Boracay. It's just, it's everything that when I think of what paradise really is, that's as close as I can imagine it anywhere on earth. But you'll see.
I have a friend. He goes there every spring, and he's got some friends over there that own businesses, as he helps them out from Canada and stuff like that. And yeah, he was just showing me photos. The last trip he went, he showed me photos of an elephant sanctuary. It's like, oh, it's so beautiful. The jungles and oh, I want to experience all that tropical feel. Yes, it's hot in all those places, but you can deal with it. We were in Mexico, my wedding. It was 39 degrees Celsius, which is what, 90s or low 100s. I don't handle the heat very well, but I dealt with it. I'll take the sacrifice to see some beauty like that.
I am still working on finding this. Keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you this as soon as I find it. I'm gonna give you the name.
Oh, you're still looking up for Kits and Kits? Yes.
Think it's a sugar plantation, and it's at the base of a mountain, and it is. And you can go there, and they will cook you. They'll cook you a meal in their dining house, but you got to have a party of like 20 or more. And I think there was.
I think somebody had a video of that. Did you go on that?
I did, but I didn't have a video of it. I
saw somebody sharing a video. Somebody out there in the cruise world was on that tour.
I've seen several videos and really like them. The ones I've seen though have not been the ones I went to. And I was told when we got it, they said, "Oh, you're really going to love this because it's a private. They rent this out to private groups. It was not part of the Royal Caribbean when we were on the Jewel of the Seas. But we went up there." Wingfield? No, it's not Wingfield.
So that's the thing that I'm kind of worried about is where you're going to have to do exactly Carnival's, because I'm only with Carnival right now, and you have to do their own excursions and stuff. I've seen so many videos where somebody said, you know what, I didn't do the cruise ships excursions. I went on this. They were just hanging outside, and hey, we did it, and we recommend it and stuff. So I've seen so many of those, and I would like to experience some of those.
I don't know that I'd recommend it in the climate that we're in today because they're getting more strict about they'll just leave people, and if you're late for something that's even out of your control, you get left. And
yeah, the pier runners.
God, right, honest to God, let's think about it. If I get left standing in the middle of St. Kitts and the ship's 100 feet away, they're not coming back. And how in the world am I going to get $1,500 to get back to Chicago? You know what I'm saying?
I'm more worried about everybody on that cruise ship looking down, watching me run, missing the ship. I'm more worried about how they would look at me than worried about being left behind. There's no way. I want to be back at the ship like at least an hour beforehand. No way. I do not want that pier runner thing on me.
No. Oh, they give them Dickens. They give them the Dickens. Man.
You won't find me. I'm going to try my best.
I would not want to be howled at. And I've seen, man, I watched this one the other night, and this poor woman just broke down and fell down on the ground crying.
Oh.
And I felt so sorry for her because her baby was still on the ship.
Oh, my.
But the baby's great uncle was on the ship. So, I mean, at least the baby had a caretaker.
An adult to take care of them. But yeah,
But yeah, what's a 65-year-old man going to take care of a 2-year-old? You know, that's kind of.
I have children. I know that
Yeah.
feeling. Oh,
I would just be sick. I'd be sick at my stomach.
Mhm,
And,
mhm.
you know, I've learned because of my heart and stuff, there's things I can't stress out over. And being late to a ship, I'll get off and stay on port for 25 or 30 minutes and make sure I'm back 2 hours early.
Yep.
Because I just can't take that kind of a chance. I used to, but not anymore.
I think for me,
what funny in St. Kitts too. The streets are funny. You know how we have speed bumps? They have speed dips.
yes,
And
I saw that.
your car, if you go through one of those dips too fast, they're shaped like this, and you'll drag the front and the back. In fact, they don't have town cars. They don't have Lincoln town cars down there. Man, I really want to find this place for you. It's and they even have a pool outside the bar there. And they said if you want to, nobody did, but they said if you wanted to, you could bring your swimmy and splash in the pool if you want.
Wow.
Fairview, Fairview.
Baguio is another place I want to visit, and yes, to stay on a deserted island for a night or two just to feel secluded. Yes, I think that's how you pronounce it, Baguio or Baguio.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Is it Baguio or Baguio? No Maps Travel is saying.
Oh, the Philippines? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Baguio or Baguio or?
I think it's Baguio. And yes,
Baguio.
For a night
that sounds right.
or two, just to feel secluded. No maps needed. That is for the brave at heart. But I can tell you this: I've been there and done that when I was much, much younger, and it is exquisite to be out in the middle of an ocean and you're on this island. I wouldn't do it now because of the vulnerability with my health and things like that, and my respiration. I don't have the respiration.
But if you were healthy, would you? Come on, you're making my heart skip a beat here by saying that. That's a dream for me.
I probably would because it really is. It's kind of a reconnection with our planet, if that makes sense. And now some people, you know, I knew transit. Oh, this is the no wait.
Hi, Daniel.
This is who's here? Oh, Daniel Fields. Hello, Daniel. How are you, my friend? He's in Simi Valley. Oh, come on.
I love California. I've been there twice, and I'm looking forward to go down. I truly like Hollywood and Los Angeles, not because of the fame and all that kind of stuff. I just like how it was, and that's, you know, everything that's available, like restaurants and everything. What is it called? There's a street called
This is the place.
Melrose. Melrose has all these nice little shops and stuff and restaurants and bars and stuff. I love that. Pink's Hot Dogs. Oh, I actually went to my very first ever mega church I went to was in Los Angeles. Angelus Temple.
Which one?
Angelus Temple. Oh, wow.
Now that's the restaurant part where they cook for you, and they've got a chef, and behind the chef up here, like behind his head, like where I'm pointing, this is a big mirror, and you can look. It's angled where you can look right down and watch what he's doing on his table, and you don't have to try to look up over the counter. You can just look up at the mirror angled down. And she's from England, and she'll describe everything that she's doing, all the spices, where the spices are grown. If you're into that type of thing, where they explain stuff in detail, that is fabulous.
That's exactly what I was going to do, Papa Mo. So the majority of these things. Sorry.
Can you see
the pool?
It's at the base. There's a pool, but it's also on the side of a mountain.
Yes,
I don't know if you can tell that from the elevation.
Oh, I can see that perfectly fine. Yeah. I'm actually just looking at that palm tree because that's my favorite tree. So.
Well, I'm going to find a different view because I guarantee you they'll show you the. Okay, here it is, looking out toward the sea. I'm standing in the same spot, just turned around. Come on. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to get it up close. It's on a high. It's on a high cliff. I don't know if
Yes,
it's showing up or not. And I'm telling you, it is breathtaking, beautiful. And all around these gardens, you can walk. They'll take you on a walking tour around these gardens. Not too big, nothing like Butchart, just much smaller.
Mhm.
And they'll explain all the trees. They'll take you to a cashew tree. And one of the guys in our party picked one and started eating it. And the lady started screaming. She was like, "No, no, no, spit it out, spit it out." And I mean, it was like, oh my goodness.
What do you
Well,
mean? I like cashews.
I love cashews. I never met one I didn't like.
Yeah. No.
Covered or clean, it doesn't matter. But look, she said in that state, when you pick them first, they're poisonous to humans, and you have to let them
Dry.
cure or ripen or whatever. And she was really, really worried about this guy in our party.
Wow.
He and the poor guy is the same one that got in trouble on Tortola. He got. And this is another thing I worry about when these third world countries, some of them. If I ever have a problem and need some serious medical help, it's just not there. And he got into like he wasn't real sharp. He wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, and he got into some I don't know, it was bad food or bad drink on Tortola, and ended up with Montezuma's Revenge.
Wow.
And had to try to find a place that could help him. Meanwhile, he had messed himself, and I mean, it was just awful. And I remember them dragging him on a stretcher back onto the ship. Now, this was in 2014. That's the last time I cruised was 2014. And I felt sorry for the guy. I felt so sorry for him. And he just kept getting into trouble. Wouldn't you know, he's the one that picked the cashew and started eating it. I mean, everything went wrong for this poor guy. But he was a real nice fellow. I'm going to try to find. I'm going to send you.
Sarah from Cuse Cruisers.
It's called Fairview. Fairview, one word. Fairview Great House and Botanical Gardens. Fairview.
I think I looked that up, Papamoso. Yeah, and that was on my eye.
Oh my goodness! I will tell you, it is beautiful. There's picture. Oh, I remember this. Oh my goodness.
So when you said something about a food, I think that's the one I looked up, because what I'm interested in doing is all these places I'm going to go to.
That's where. Let me see. I don't think you can see the way it's angled. I don't think you can see. I think it's standing at where the chef is. So the chef's, you can't see the mirror, because the mirror would be like behind where the.
I know exactly what you mean by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have the mirror up here, and it comes down so you can see what they're doing. That brings it down over top of the food that you're doing.
You can see their whole table, and she'll point. Just say, "Now this is cumin. I'm going to put just a pinch of that." And I mean, just go through. And she'll tell you what island the spices came from. It is, and it seems like that was about $100 a person. But I got to tell you, and that included transportation from the seaport, the cruise port out there, and then the walking tour and the meal. And you know, if I'd have wanted to, I almost jumped in, but I was afraid that people would get on me saying, "Oh, you're not supposed to be in your underwear." But who cares? They're never going to see me again in my life, you know. But I was with my sister, and she was taking a group of seniors, and I thought, well, I don't want to embarrass her. It was the last trip she ever took. She took me on that cruise. She passed away 9 months later.
But I plan on in the future, Papamoso, doing some cooking, like a cooking feature on my channel. I've already had that planned a long time ago, but I want to do it. So what I want to do is I want to go to all these different places and take one dish that I got from wherever, and then bring it back and recreate it in my kitchen. I want to be able to. I'm a cook. I was a cook for 20 years, right? So
sure. If you did that at the camp, I can only speak for this one. It's the only one I've ever been to. But I can tell you this: I felt like it was well worth the money, and at that time I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
My sister was paying it, but she told me she would pay for an excursion. Well, I took an excursion to another place, and then when we got to St. Kitts, she's like, "Well, you know, this is a private party. You're welcome to come, but I can't cover this one. It's going to be about $100." She said, "But I can tell you this: the lady that has taken us on tours all over the country, that is sponsoring this trip, she always picks great places." She said, "So it might be worth your money." Well, guess what? It was way worth it. I think for your interests and things like that, especially since you were a cook, And then when she's done cooking it, everybody gets to come up and walk through the little line and take a little spoonful of everything and
Oh
eat it.
yes, that's exactly what I love. Yes.
It is a taste. It is a taste of Caribbean culture.
Mm.
It is a taste of St. Kitts and Nevis. I did not go to Nevis. Nevis is beautiful from the water. St. Kitts has a well-developed port that is gorgeous. You'll see that. In fact, if I can find a picture of their port, it's a big yellow
Oh, I've
building. And
gone through not hundreds, but many videos on all the ports I go to. To me, I need to see everything what's there before. It ruins
you're
it somewhat.
just like me. I love to see what's there. And sometimes I even have to kind of plan my route if it's
Yeah, yeah.
now these days I have to do something
Same
that's
thing, Papa.
accessible.
Yeah.
I have to look at things that are accessible, handicap things like that.
Same here. Yeah.
I can walk some, but I can't walk long. Just maybe
Same here. Yeah. Nice.
200 feet. So
I think you
will-
sold me on this excursion, Papa Mosa, because I was actually looking. I'm pretty sure it was that one, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I want to.
I just want you to know
food.
that was not through Royal Caribbean.
No.
This was a private. So go to their website, Fairview Great House and Botanical Gardens. This is the one I remember it plain as day. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No Maps just said something that's interesting me. Oh, see
That's
the
what
whole Caribbean is beautiful.
What they're saying?
No Maps is saying we love to do the same thing, bring recipes home with us. Did the last time we were in El Salvador. My mentor, my spiritual father, he's actually from El Salvador. We were going to plan to get married in El Salvador. I did so much research down there. El Salvador is another place I want to visit. This is Daniel. We are a family. One, hope you can upload more video. Much love all the way from the Philippines. Oh, wow.
Melody is a sweetheart. Melody is a sweetheart.
She's in the
TJ's on here.
Philippines? Hi,
Melody's
TJ.
from the Philippines for Melody.
Oh,
TJ,
wow.
as you know, TJ's between Baton Rouge and New Orleans,
Yes, we know TJ.
or as my dad says, New Orleans.
Oh, yes. Now you're reminding me. Yes, New Orleans.
Mm-mm.
Right, TJ?
New Orleans.
Oh, is that not how you say it?
It's New Orleans. Orlin. Orleans.
I made the mistake and said it wrong. It's kind of like a funny thing up here for Canadians to say another word that I'm not going to say, and he corrected me, and I respect that totally. I called it something. It's I guess it's not the greatest, but it's New Orleans, I think.
Orleans. Short I.
Orleans. New Orleans. New Orleans.
Like
okay, there we go. New Orleans. Yeah, okay.
Like a lens, New Orleans.
I definitely want to go there. I definitely 100% want to go there. So does my wife. What's that?
We can always tell Canadians on TV because of one word.
Wow.
Or two words. About or house. They don't say house. They're in Chicago. Say, so
house.
How many people
house. I live in a house.
How many live in your house? That's Chicago. But Canadians,
about time. Yeah.
People are in the house. And there's shows my wife likes to watch this Home and Garden TV.
Help me out here, No Maps.
HGTV has these these house buying shows, and the one guy is from Canada. The woman is like an English accent, and I say, "I'm going to find them the right house," and he's like, "Mommy will be like, oh, they're Canadian." Hey, I went to beach a few years ago. I did my first beach wedding down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, for some friends of mine that wanted to get married, and they flew us down there and put us up. Beautiful place, and I went down to the beach. This was before the wedding, and I had a couple days to kill, so I thought, hey, let's go catch some surf and sun and try to find a shark. Well, go down there, and they've got these jet skis. This was before my open heart. and I was still allowed to do that type of thing. And I said to the lady there's a kiosk, they're on the sand, and you go up and you pay your money or whatnot. And I said, so how much do you have, like an hourly rate, eh? And she said, huh? I said, do you have an hourly rate? She said, no, you said A.
Are you Canadian?
Said, are you from Canada? I said, no, I'm from Chicago. She said, oh, well, that's right by Canada, isn't it? I'm like, well, maybe not so much. There's a little lake between there. Lake Michigan's a little lake between there.
You don't seem like you have any accent at all. None.
I get everything. The people I went to college as a student in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And Memphis is what they call the Mid-South, but it's still definitely, it's a Southern accent where people talk like this.
Way down south.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And, but I know people in the southern part of Louisiana that think that Memphis is a bunch of Yankees. And when they find out but the people up here think I sound Southern. So I don't know. I can't win. I've lived too many places. And
we
I
have
went
a
to
funny accented place here in Canada, and that's Newfoundland, where they speak, I call it speak Newfoundlandese, and you can barely understand a word they're saying.
went to college with two guys from there.
Yeah.
And they told me, said, whatever you do, don't say Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
I'm like, oh, okay. It looks like Newfoundland to me, but we'll go with Newfoundland.
It's the same thing like where I'm from. I'm actually doing this tonight on YouTube, talking about my hometown, St. John. It's called SAINTJOHN, which is St. John. Well, Newfoundland, St. John and Newfoundland is ST.JOHNS. And so when you hear people talking about I was in St. John on the cruise, they say ST period with the S on the end. And it's kind of the same way. Don't say it that way. Don't say it that way.
Well, there's also, if you're talking to cruisers, especially if they're Caribbean people, they're going to think St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands.
U.S. Virgin Islands, that's right, yes.
Which everybody I've talked to said that is really a fabulous port. I've never been there that I know of. St. John, St. Croix, St. Thomas. I had one of my former students, when they got married in St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And the pictures they sent me of their honeymoon, oh my goodness, gorgeous, gorgeous. Just this color of water. I mean, just incredible.
That was a port on our cruise that just got canceled. I was supposed to go to St. Thomas, and
St. Thomas was on.
Yeah, Jamie at sea. He had his drone up and showing some drone footage of the beach that they went to in St. Thomas. It's like, oh, I'm going there. Thank you, Jamie. I'm going to check out that beach. And now they canceled the cruise, so it's okay. I ended up getting a couple of hours.
Supposed to go? So it was St.
So my
Thomas?
original cruise was February 2021, and it was supposed to go to Grand Turk, St. Thomas, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Dominican.
Dominican Republic or Dominica?
Dominican Republic.
Okay. If you ever get a chance to go to Dominica, it's a little further down.
I actually don't even know where that is. Where is that?
Well, when you get to St. Kitts and St. Martin, go almost due south, a little bit east, but mostly
down by
due south.
St. Vincent's and all that.
Yeah, a little north. It's between St. Martin and Barbados. No, Barbados is out there by itself. Barbados is gorgeous.
I hear that. That'll be a few
there's a huge public beach area in Barbados, miles long. It is gorgeous. Trying to think. I've got a thing. I think I've got a picture saved to my.
I have a friend who works for MSC. He lives in St. Vincent's and the Grenadines. That's how I found out that they were going back to work in October. They thought they were going to be ready for November. That's the way he was thinking it was going to happen. But employees aren't going to know everything. So, but yeah, he thought he got called back to work in October to go to work for November on MSC. And as we see, it's nothing going yet. So.
I just put a picture on my Facebook not a picture, but the link to that Fairview if you want to.
Thank you. I will check it out.
Anytime. I'm going to find this Untitled. Here we go. I've got a picture I can show you right where.
Victoria May Wallace says hello. Hello.
Oh, Victoria's here? I didn't see this. Let me look.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention, am I?
No,
Victoria,
you do what you're doing, Papa Mose, and I'll help you out here, and I'll talk.
Hi, Victoria. Hi, love. How are you? You can break down into 3 distinct sections: north of I-10, okay, south of I-10, and New Orleans. Yeah, TJ's talking about the Louisiana area, north of I-10, south of I-10, and New Orleans. And he's right; they're kind of distinct. Oh my God,
I really want to try Southern food, like down in Louisiana and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. You'll be glad you did. I'll tell you, it will ruin you. You won't want to try etouffee anywhere else but New Orleans.
I don't want to say I'm jealous of America, but I kind of wish I had the variety of food options that you guys have down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you see. Let me see. Let me get my sides right. Over. Right about here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, right where your fingertip is, that's where St. Vincent and the Grenadines is. So
that's okay. Just north of that is Dominica.
Just north of, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
In fact, let me ask the Google. Show me where Dominica is.
Yes, Dominica. Can you grab my water bottle off, please?
Do you want another coffee?
Yes, please.
Pass me your cup.
Thank you. My beautiful wife won't come on camera unless she's got the girl stuff on.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's a good. This is a better representation. I don't know if you can see it though. It's kind of small.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's where it is. Okay.
Barbados. It's right by Guadeloupe. Now Barbados. It's in between. It's in between Guadeloupe and
Martinique. Yeah. Okay. Now I know. Okay. Now that's why I didn't know that one. But I've heard of St. Vincent's because I have a friend that lives there. So
Barbados.
Anytime I want, I can come down there. I have a place to stay, and he'll show me around. Should never get around to going down that way.
You should go. Take your friend up on his offer.
But the flights down that way are probably more than the cruise.
You're exactly right.
I'm hoping that a cruise would make it down that way one day.
Well, I can tell you they go to Barbados every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that I would take a plane that far.
Now, we were talking about St. Martin's the other day. I was seriously looking into if I can fly from St. Martin's over to St. Bart's. There's a runway in St. Bart's that has an extreme slope of landing and a dead end at the end where you could go into the water if you don't land properly. And I really want to experience that. We'll see. And I actually like flying in an airplane because I actually bought my trailer here close to an airport. I'm 10-minute walk to an airport. And yeah, I bought it because my wife had bought me an hour's flight time up in the air, and I just love going up in airplanes. So I was trying to find out if anybody has ever done that on a cruise, but there's not too many people answering that.
St. Bart's is right next to St. Martin.
Yeah. So you can take a plane, from what I understand. Well, there's this aviation guy that I follow over in the UK. He's a pilot and stuff. And he just did that. He was over in St. Martin's, and then he flew from St. Martin's over to St. Bart's, landed at that runway, and then took off and all that. So that's what I want to experience.
And you said the airport is on St. Bart's?
Yes.
I've not been there. St. Bart's is not a big place, is it?
No, really small.
I'm looking for the airport. It's got to be visible from the air. St. Bart's.
Oh, okay. I'll help you out while you do that.
Gustavia. Gustavia.
Oh, somebody's doing karaoke.
I thought that was a French island. Who's doing karaoke?
Victoria May Wallace.
Right now?
No. Hope to see you at my Wednesday night karaoke, 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh, okay. I got to set my alarm. I can't keep track of all of them. There's no way. Where is that airport? It can't be that hard to
There's
find.
Blaine. Hi, Blaine.
Oh, Blaine's back. Excellent. Commander Blaine. I'll be doggone. I can't find that airport.
I'll tell you what, Papa Mozo, I'll go do it, and then I'll create some video and I'll send it back to you. There we go.
Excellent. And you can film the whole trip if it's only because it looks like about 20 miles, maybe 25.
Yeah, it's a short flight. Yeah, and that's where I found out that St. Martin is named the same, but different spellings on each side. I didn't know that. I thought, okay, it's one island, it's St. Martin's Island, but no, I found out that one spelt is it SAINTMAARTEN, and then the other one's ST period MARTIN, I think it is.
Yeah, St. Martin is French on the north side where you're going.
Yeah,
that's the French side where the planes come in, and then where you see all the luxury yachts on St. Martin is on the south side, on the Dutch side, spelled with two A's and an EN. Basseterre, that's St. Kitts, Basseterre, and Montserrat. Montserrat is just south of there. That's that island that exploded. Remember that volcano that exploded? It was all on TV here a few years ago, maybe 10 or 15 years ago. It was a long time. And,
the only volcano I know that blew up, but it was got to do with the cruise industry, and that was in New Zealand. Is it New Zealand? Thank you. Thank you, love.
Barbuda.
I can't remember her name, but I watched the documentary of it. It was so sad. You heard about that, right?
Is that the one that White Island or something like that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was so sad. So sad.
It's really a wonder that didn't end up even worse than it did. It was a tragedy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could have gotten so many more.
It was so sad on many different levels, like for the cruise industry, the people dying, and it's just so sad. Unfortunate it happened, right? Such a beautiful place, right? And I think about because as you know, I'm a cruise virgin, going on these excursions, all these different places. I'm just, hey, give it to me. And you go to a place like this volcano, it's like, okay, it's a little dangerous, but hey, it's a freak accident. That's
I would be thinking it's no different than going to Hawaii. Hawaii's active volcano.
Yeah, they got volcanoes there.
You don't think about Hawaii blowing up, but I mean, at any time it could. It's the world we live in. You do run that risk, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, the largest volcano in the world is underneath Yellowstone. So, and they said if that one goes, it'll destroy the North American continent. I was like, man, none of us ever know when our time is.
That interrupted people.
I remember that. Woo, that was awful. I'll never forget that.
We have earthquake zones up here. We have earthquakes almost daily, but I've never felt one because they're like low numbers, not like down where Daniel is. He probably feels earthquakes all the time down in California, but up here on the west coast of Canada, we're still on this fault zone as well, but we get like 2.2 and 1.4 every day, basically. I think the last one we had was 4, but Alaska gets them up north. They get the earthquakes all a lot, 7s.
They definitely do. My parents lived in Fairbanks, and they lived in fact, they named my sister Chena after the Chena River.
Oh, okay, yes.
And they said, when they were there, it was not a state yet. It was in the mid-50s.
So it became a state in the 50s. I did not know that.
In the late, I think it was 59, and then Hawaii was the last one. I was just looking at a picture of San Juan. if you ever get a chance to port into San Juan, it's really nice because the cruise port takes you right downtown into Old San Juan, which is so quaint
You
and
talking
so.
Puerto Rico? Is that what you
San
think?
Juan.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I can't wait to go to Puerto Rico. That whole town, the fort, the Umbrella Street, and what's the famous drink that was created there?
Pina colada.
Pina colada was there. Just yeah, I can't wait.
There's a place, that whole area right downtown there.
Yeah.
Very well patrolled with the police. The crime in Puerto Rico is pretty bad.
Oh, really?
But that area.
I actually don't pay attention to that stuff for some reason. I just go wherever the tourists go.
Well, even the locals will tell you don't be out after dark.
No, of course not. But for me, and I can't say that's for everybody, but for me, I pretty much, because I worked with homeless before. I was homeless myself in the past, and I've worked with homeless, and I pretty much know how the streets work. And yes, you don't go out at night. That's a no-brainer for me. I'm not saying for everybody. And so in a place like that, a lot
of people don't think that way because they've not had that.
That's right.
They don't realize that they're vulnerable, and that's the type of people that end up getting their wallet picked.
That's right.
They don't put their wallet down the front of their pants like they're supposed to.
Here's an example in Playa del Carmen when we were there the second time. The resorts that you stay at, they give you bracelets, orange bracelets. Well, our color was orange, bright orange. And that's just to say that you are a guest at that hotel that I was staying at. And so when you're in town, anybody can pick out what resort you're at because they can tell the color of your bracelet. So Anand and I were walking down the street, and I also have a Canadian flag tattoo. I can't show it on here. It's hard to show. I have a Canadian tattoo flag on my thing. And so guy runs up to me. Oh, Mr. Canada, come here. You remember me at the resort? And some people are kind of like clueless and stuff, and they think all Mexicans look alike and stuff like that, even though I don't. But he comes up to, oh, you remember me? Yeah, come down in this alleyway. My mom's got a business down here. Some would think, oh, that's harmless. Let's go down there and go do it. But it also could be him trying to take us down in this alleyway, dark alley at that, and try to take advantage of us, right? So to me, it's like, no gracias, and to be respectful, right?
Well, if I go into the city here, if I take the train downtown, I usually take 15 or 20 $1 bills and keep them single file, not in a wad. I keep them single file in my pocket because I've been on the street before, and I had some very good opportunities in life, but some of the good opportunities and things that helped me the most were some of the worst struggles imaginable. And I know what it's like to not have a meal and be hungry for 10 or 11 days.
Sorry, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Norwegian Cruise Line. Back off. It's my phone ringing. Got to turn it down. There we go. Sorry about that. Norwegian Cruise Line calling me. Want to cruise? Sorry, Don.
Sure. But I don't like to give people enough money to get a crock rock, but I do like to give them enough if they need a cup of coffee or an egg or something, they can at least get that. And if they want to go into one of those little hole-in-the-wall restaurants that's right on Michigan Avenue or somewhere in public, I'll gladly take them inside there in a very public place and say, hey, order what you want. I'll buy you breakfast. Because I do feel for people, because it could be me, and it has been me before. And so I'm not heartless, but I'm also not stupid. I'm with you. I'm not following somebody down the alley.
No. If I can comment to that, Papa Moses, this is something that I learned before. I've told some others, and I'm comfortable talking about who I was before. It's not for sympathy or anything like that, but it's just I'm an open book with what I've done before, and it's only to inspire others to, hey, maybe you can make some change in your life also. I was homeless before, and then I started. I got into their programs. It was called the PDP program, almost like what you're talking about, the ARC. You were talking about this a few days ago. It wasn't the ARC. I wasn't in drug treatment. I was never an addict or anything. I did drugs before in the past, but I don't anymore. Anyway, so I went into the program called the PDP program, Personnel Development Program, and it changed my life forever. And so, but then I started working for the Salvation Army as a front desk support worker. And my job was to talk to clients coming in every day, hearing their stories, trying to support them. Hey, you need it into recovery? Hey, yeah, I'll get your number right here. Here's your go. If you want to go to recovery, I'll get you a bus ticket to go there. That was part of my job. On my breaks, because I work the evening shift, 4 to 12:30, and that's when everybody comes out to play. If you know anything about the streets. And so I used to go to by this coffee shop all the time, Tim Hortons, and I used to pass these panhandlers all the time. And I have experienced in all big cities all across Canada, and everywhere you go, there's always panhandlers. And so this coffee shop that I used to go to, I used to pass by these panhandlers all the time. And what it was kind of like a circuit. You know, one panhandler could only stay there for so long, and once they see that they got some money, get out. I want in here next. That kind of a deal. I got to understand how that all worked. Anyway, so this one guy, I got to know him quite well, and he offered me to buy a newspaper that they get for a certain amount, and then they could sell them for $2 just to make it's like a easier way to panhandle. Anyway, he gave me this. And he asked me one night, can I borrow $5? And I knew the guy, so we built this rapport and stuff. And eventually he didn't give me this money back. And he knew it. And I thought, you know what? I'm never giving this guy money ever again. Because I also know that everybody that was panhandling in this area, it was in front of a 7-Eleven where they all do it. And I know he was going to use this money to go get high and stuff like that. I know that, because of working in the homeless shelter. Anyway, so eventually, over time, I had to drop my anger towards him doing that to me. He hurt me. But then I also thought, okay, this guy is using drugs. But me making change in my life, what helped me to change my life into a better person is somebody took their time out of their day to say, you know what, Larry, hey, I'm here to help you, man. What do you need? Whatever, right? And the Salvation Army did that for me. And so I thought about this guy here. He's taking this toonie, whatever he's asking for, to go get high. And that's all you need to get a piece of crack is $2, and you'll get a fix. And so I thought about that. And then eventually I thought, you know what? If I keep saying no to this guy, he's getting pushed away from everybody, because everybody's going to keep saying no because they think he's doing drugs. Well, I actually give them a toonie. But it's only because he's going to do it anyway. He's going to go to the next person, get a toonie. But my toonie, right? I'm also opening up the door for him to understand who I am and try to give him care back to him, right? And so now, in that sense, it's not that I'm going out of my way to give everybody a toonie to go get high. That's not what I'm meaning. But there's that time when I feel the calling to, hey, here you go, here's $2. But for the most part, I do go into, hey, you want a sandwich? Here, I'll buy you a sandwich, right? It's too many people out there are saying, get away from me because you're going to get high and I don't want to help you. Well, that's the problem. They're staying in it because they think everybody in society looks at them like they're a low-life piece of garbage. When you need to bring them in and try to help them to understand, hey, there's the Salvation Army down the street. You want me to take you for a drive? I'll drive you over there if you need it, right? You know what I mean? And instead of just keep saying no, F off, and ignoring them. And anyway, that's just my own personal journey.
No, that's true, because people forget, or they don't realize, that it could just as easily be themselves.
It annoys me when I see people saying homelessness. There's no image to what homelessness is. It's a mirror.
People watch
Take a mirror.
I'd say, don't you think they've seen too much TV?
Yeah. Look at a mirror. That's what a homeless person could look like. Not that it looks that way. It could look that way. I've met clients that ran $1 million businesses that were in the shelter. There's so many different things. So yeah, that's for another topic. Oh, there's MGM. Bill and Lucy.
I have an attorney friend that ended up on the streets when he was an attorney, a thriving attorney in New York City. And a few things went wrong for him, and before he knew it, everything he ever had was gone.
Yeah.
And he found himself in a most desperate situation. I'm not even sure if he's still alive or not, but you know, if they'd see him in his $1,500 suit, they'd never guess that a year later he would be on the street, you know, begging coffee money. Well, I've eaten everything in this room.
I'm actually going to get going here soon near Papamosa. You got a bunch of people. Yep. We got some, I'll let you say it's your show.
I don't know who. Oh, MGM's, they're here.
Yeah.
Somebody else said something I wanted to back up. I think it was Najuma said, there's the earthquake. I think Najuma,
no, Matt, you're from Portugal? I just had a friend who lives in Calgary. He was just over there for 3 weeks in Portugal, and then he was supposed to go to Romania, but then he got denied in Romania because of the COVID, and so he ended up going to Antalya, Turkey, and he's there for 6 weeks in Turkey. I would love to. He's a nomad. That's my thing, but that's okay. Oh, I was homeless from 12 years old until I was 21 and did not drink or do drugs the whole time. Right on. And it doesn't. Not all homeless people are drug addicts and alcoholics.
It's hard not to be. I will say, Najuma. I mean, excuse me, Victoria.
Yes.
That's really a miracle, and God must have had His hand on you, my dear, because
yes,
there's so many situations where you don't intend to fall into something, but that's why it's called an accident. You fall into something, and it's like, uh-oh, I didn't realize this was going to hurt that bad. But by then, you've already fallen, and that's a common thread. I've heard it a million times. We've got an urban church here, and a lot of them are very poor people, but that's just the nature of things. An alcoholic, let's see. MGM says an alcoholic doesn't live under a bridge and drink out of a paper bag. That's right. Very true. Very true, Bill. Very true.
Yep.
Raley created. No maps needed is talking to Blaine. Gonna go see his show. Oh, Blaine's show is tonight, everybody, at
8 o'clock.
7. Oh yeah, 8 Eastern. It's so hard for me to think. I think outside of Chicago is Eastern.
I'm on
I did not.
All little drugs.
What did you say, Larry?
I said I'm on at 7 o'clock Eastern.
Oh, you're on at 7 Eastern?
Yes, and then Raley's right on after me. I switched my time.
Oh God, what are you trying to do to me here?
I was Wednesdays and Saturdays, but another channel's on there, and there was a little mix-up, so I decided to go on Mondays.
Subscription. Okay, let me look yours up. I've got you on here. I'm thinking about it because I can forget just that quick.
Actually, I didn't send out any invitations today, and I normally send you one, but that's okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Plump Travelers there. I at least have you saved in my favorite places. Getting to know. Oh no, that's another one. The Tonight Show, episode 1, scheduled for 6 p.m. Okay.
7 p.m.
Okay. Well, I think this puts it in my time zone.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes, that's right. You're over next door to the Eastern time.
Oh, I've already got a reminder set. Cancel reminder. No, don't cancel. Keep the reminder. Okay. The Tonight Show with Larry and Ananda. What's that say? Party City?
Port City. We're talking about the Port City of St. John.
Port review, yeah.
Well, I felt so, because I was born in St. John, New Brunswick, and I lived there until 2005. I thought, why not just talk about my hometown? And all I'm doing is just a slideshow of my hometown, and just, if anybody's ever interested in going to St. John, because it is a cruise port, if you have any questions, I can probably answer them.
I think it was Sharon or one of them said that maybe it wasn't Sharon. It was somebody on here said that you may be used to whatever town you're from, but chances are to other people it might be a vacation destination. So
That's
tell
right.
people about town.
Right.
So, and she's right.
And that's what I want to do. I just want to tell a little bit of the history, even though for someone like me, I'm from there. I'm not really a history buff, but I know a lot of people being from here. Everybody wants to know what Powell River's like. Okay, well, I'll tell you.
Tall? Are you really tall, or is Ananda really short?
I'm 6'2".
Okay, I'm 6'1", because when Mommy and I stand next to each other, she's 5'1" and I'm 6'1", and we have the head and shoulder bit, and you look taller. You're standing in front of what looks like a canyon, perhaps, or a mountain range.
And Anda's, I think, what are you, love? How tall are you?
What?
How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5".
Oh wow! Our first trip together, where we fell in love, part 1. Oh, the wedding trip to Mexico, part 2. Oh dear.
So yeah, the slideshow is just saying, okay, a little bit of the history of what St. John is, what's there, and then just open up for if you have any questions of what if you ever go there, because I do know some people are going there. They were scheduled for September, I think it was. It's on the New England route, right? And it's not gorgeous. From my point of view. It's just I just want to talk about what's in that city. Yes. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Oh, I like Seattle. I love the Northwest because of the same reason.
Oh, 15 years I've lived up this way.
Man, I love the climate. My wife thinks I'm weird because I love rainy days, but I love the climate. Not that I like sunny days too, but I love rainy days.
See, I actually don't necessarily mind the rain if we can get away to some sunshine. But right now, as you see, we're stuck. We can't do nothing. And this rain gets to you after a while.
Mommy does not like rainy days ever. She hates rainy days.
I actually love it. Like we're in St. John, where I'm from, they used to they get pea soup fog, as it's called. It's really thick fog where the horror story, and you get everything. Love it. But yeah, you're into it all the time. The what?
And that movie, The Fog.
Yes, The Fog. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, take off from SeaTac. Okay, I got my cousin lives right outside of SeaTac. I've got cousins that live in Seattle and Kent. Right,
if you haven't been to Seattle, I highly recommend Seattle. Go Seahawks.
I love Seattle is gorgeous. Yes. Seattle's so beautiful.
Space Needle. I was up
actually.
Space Needle. Oh. If you're a Starbucks fan, they got the very first Starbucks. But people, well, not right now, but once it starts back up again, there's always a line up in front of that store. It took me probably an hour to get in just to ask for a cup of coffee. But hey, the very first one, you got to have it. It's a thing.
I love the Harbor Steps, and I love Pike Street. I like those little
market. Oh.
I like the little international restaurants, the little tiny hole in the wall places all along Pike Place.
That's right. Yeah, I love that.
That little Russian place, and then that Vietnamese joint.
I can hang out there for days, just hanging out there, just watching everything going on. It's just it's so amazing, and that's pretty close to the cruise port down the street, I think. I've never seen a cruise ship actually in there.
I've never cruised there. I've been there several times because I got family there, but I just love Seattle. I love going down to Anthony's to eat. Oh my goodness, Anthony's Seafood right downtown. It is very near to cruise port. It's at I want to say Pier 39, but that's in San Francisco. It's
I can't remember that down there.
You know where I'm talking about, though. It's right down there. There's two Anthony's. There's actually one out.
There's one out far, not far, but out. Actually, Karen and Nate, another travel channel. They just did Seattle, and I think they were at this Anthony's Fish and Chips.
Anthony's Seafood is incredible.
Seafood. Yeah, well known for that. Yeah,
Seafood has a salmon chowder that is just drop dead wonderful.
And it comes out in the bread bowl.
The seafood, I I think the clam chowder did. I didn't get the
Oh, that's
clam
what it was.
chowder
Clam
there.
chowder. She had clam chowder. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And then
it had to be good because the salmon chowder was just divine. I mean, oh my goodness, I've never had salmon chowder that good.
I'm not necessarily a fish fan. My father was a fisherman, a net fisherman, and so he used to bring home fish all the time, and that's all we ever ate. And then,
Oh, you probably got sick of it, didn't you?
yes, well, and it was also because of the bones. And there's too many times where you forgot a bone in there and you go to eat it and it gets stuck. And I just, you know what, I'm done with eating. It's not that I don't like fish, like the flavor or anything. It's just I don't. Yeah, I was down in Mexico and they had red snapper. Was that ever good?
Well, that's so much easier. It's very easy to fillet and cook right too.
Yes.
Red snapper. I gotta go, my friends. I have got to get out of here and get a little bit more done today before it gets dark. It's going to be dark.
Thank you for allowing me to hang out with you, Papa Wawazo. It was fun.
Thank you for coming on. It was open to anyone. I put the link on there several times. Let me go through the list here. We got Daniel Fields, No Maps Needed. Victoria May, that sweet thing, she's here again. Daniel Fields, Glass Museum at the Space Needle was great. I didn't see that, Daniel. Glass Museum at the Space Needle.
Where?
Daniel Fields is saying there was a glass museum at the Space Needle, and it was great.
Glass museum? I heard of the rock and roll. There was a rock and roll place by the Space Needle, but I didn't know there was a glass. I like watching that glass stuff. Oh, cool. I'll check that out next time I'm down.
I have only visited Seattle on a cruise, and we had no rain, and it was great. Daniel, Seattle in July is wonderful. If you want to see Seattle at its best, you've got a clear, sunny sky, and you've got the Space Needle and the beautiful seaport. But then in the distance, to your south and a little bit to the east, you've got the beautiful Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier, yes.
Believe me when I tell you, it is one of the most beautiful sights on a bright summer day. Mount Rainier is so pretty. Am I right, Larry? It's gorgeous, isn't it?
100%. I have pictures of it. Yes, when they were taken off from SeaTac and you fly by Mount Rainier and all that. I love the mountains. I love mountains. Love them.
I do too. Where do you live? I'll bet you get a lot of rain on your side because if you're on the upslope, rain gets wrung out as air is rising. It wrings out the moisture. So I'd say your side gets a lot of.
I'm going to talk my wife into allowing me to buy a Mavic Mini drone. She calls it a toy. But I want to take videos of what it's like up and behind us. Like we're at the very edge of our town, and then behind us is all forest and mountains. And I'm going to share a link one day on my Facebook. There's a video of a helicopter guy that runs a helicopter thing in Vancouver, and he takes new pilots up for training. And he's gone up in there glaciers up and back of me. Like I never knew this, but like half an hour flight up and behind me, there's like glacier mountains that are like thousands of feet tall. I didn't even know this. I don't get to see them. I only see the mountains over on Vancouver Island. But it's so beautiful. But this whole globe is beautiful. Everything has its own unique beauty everywhere where we go. It's like, I'm sure if I went to Chicago, there is one thing that I'm very interested in Chicago, and that's the train downtown.
The
train that goes around. I don't know.
The L train. The L train. Yeah.
Yeah. We call it here in Vancouver. We call them sky trains.
Sky train. Okay.
But
we don't have anything like that here. We've got L train, which means elevated train, but we also have subways. We have subways and L's.
Oh, so you do have subway? I did not know that. I actually thought you only had that one. It's an elevated track that goes around downtown Chicago, right?
Right.
That's the one that I'm interested in. That's
that's the L train because it's elevated. EL, elevated train, and then we also have a subway too. And then out here, my house is like 50 miles from the tower, and so out here we catch the Metra, which is the Metro rail. We catch the Metro into the city. Then once we get in the city, then we can take the L. The bus system. That's really about the easiest way to get around is the bus.
Yeah, that's Toronto's that way. Vancouver has their own West Coast Express, it's called. They have a train that goes out to all the outlying cities, and then they got a bus system that takes you out. And Toronto's the same way. Never really took it. All those places I had a car or a vehicle, right?
There's 258 suburbs here.
Wow.
And so trying to, and it covers an area, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. Covers 4 states and about 28 counties, I believe. And I don't know how many phone area codes we have now. I think around 18 or 20.
Wait, you're saying area code. I thought it was zip
Area
code.
code. Like the 3-digit 84. My phone number is 847.
Oh, okay. Yes.
It's the
ours is 604. In the hood, yo, 604.
604. Mine's 847. And
847. We actually have an 847 where I'm from in St. John, New Brunswick. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I know a guy that used to live in Nova Scotia. He lived right at the headwater of Fundy Bay, and he had a bed and breakfast up there on one of those cliffs. And he was showing me footage of how that incredible tide would change. And he's like, I'm telling you, it goes 100 feet. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And it did. I couldn't believe it. I had to see it to believe it.
Turns into mud flaps where people go and they get clams and stuff.
That's what he said. But there's a certain time. As soon as it starts turning, they head for the hills. Because
there's high tide, black tide, low tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Thank you, my friend. God bless you to everyone on here.
Thank you.
No map needed. Victoria May.
Have a good night, everyone.
Here, Blaine, everybody. Thank you for being a part. We love you all. We say God bless you. Thank you, my friend Larry. Have a good one, buddy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And